5 seconds. Thirty seconds. The show will start in 15 seconds, and this is your last audible warning.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Kamala went to a lot of average schools, and so did Walls.
She failed the bar.
And she failed the bar the first time she took it. So
she did?
I
don't know a single lawyer.
Kim Kardashian passed the bar.
She never went to law school.
And she passed the bar.
Hold on.
That's right.
Hold on. Kim Kardashian,
She got 474.
Can you...
Maybe Montel Williams was banging her stupid.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
Oh, I mean, I'm so late. I don't even have any of my screens up as far as I don't have any of them up.
Oh no. Oh, on chat?
Yeah, I have nothing up. Just because I've been preparing for today's show. And I asked you if you could really quick, because somebody brought to my attention that we could have been maybe mistaken.
I did look it up.
By the way, Tuesday, November 5th, today is Election Day. Today, it all finally... You know what? No. It doesn't finally end. I think it just begins. As much as we want it just to all go away, and if your candidate, listen, I'm to the point where if my guy doesn't even win, I'm just so exhausted. I think the average American is just exhausted.
Well, deleting emails and random texts that keep coming through has been really torture.
Oh my God, has everybody? Mach, your mic's up too. Has everybody been getting, I'm not kidding you, I think I get 15 a day.
Oh, yeah. All easy.
And you hit stop.
That doesn't help.
And it says you're unsubscribed. There's this guy named Dan Watson from like Washington State. And by the way, whoever owned my phone before me was named Alan.
Alan the Democrat.
Right.
Well,
God,
owned your number or owned your phone?
No, owned my number.
Okay.
Because remember,
You switch around every now and then.
Yeah, and I'm about ready. Had a hair on my microphone.
Ew.
I'm about ready to maybe change my number again. Maybe. I don't know. But
it feels it's liberating though, isn't it, Bubba, when you change your number?
Just like Dion says, sometimes you got to shake the fleas.
Right.
That's what Dion says.
I mean, sometimes you're shaking them after every week.
Sometimes you got to shake the fleas.
Have a rolling number.
You might have been a friend you might have had a friend a year ago that's no longer a friend. You don't want even hearing from. So anyway, so there's this guy named Dan Watson. And he texts me, and his campaign texts me, and he is a Democrat. And suppose that this is what I can get. He's going against a Republican woman, and she has raised more money, and he needs $10 from me in a worse way, or there's no chance. So, and it says stop, to opt out. Well, I'll hit stop. and it'll say you've unsuccessfully subscribed from Dan Watson. I don't know if his name's Dan Watson because I don't really look at it hard enough. I just see it. It's the standard, political text, and I get rid of it. But if I think I'm something like Dan Watson. I've looked it up, and it's something. So I actually, as many times as I've unsubscribed to the same dildo, I yesterday said, stop, and I hope Dan Watson gets hit by a goddamn bus tomorrow because I cannot take your messages anymore. Stop effing texting me, you mother effers.
That's what brings us together, Bubba.
Suck my D.
Yep,
like I said,
too.
I said as many derogatory things as I could say.
Why don't you ask what $10 is going to do for him at the last second if he's down votes and money?
What's $10 going to do for him when he's it's even in their
Is
text?
he running for like city council of Arizona?
No, it's like state congressperson for Washington or something like that. Okay,
Ridiculous.
Something that I have
Well, Alan was involved in it, so you should carry on the tradition with his phone number to care too.
Alan, the guy who had my phone number, must have been right. He must have just given to everybody. I need to find out who this guy is. Could be like, hey, Alan, I have your old number, and as much money as you gave the Democratic Party, why don't you, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, buddy?
Yeah.
Well, tell him you're running for sheriff. Or
Okay,
mayor.
there you go.
You know what I'm running for? I'm running to stay on the air.
Bubba, it's the Hogan mantra. You give one check, and all of a sudden the floodgates open. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you show that you're willing to write a check to some ass clown running for office.
Perhaps the last message we'll have to hear from Sleepy Joe.
But I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
If he's under 5.
I mean, no, here's the deal. Joe did not denote who this person could be. So I think this is actually a really good quote. I think Joe is up as, I think, the American public.
He's talking about MAGA, right?
I know, but
Yeah.
but you can. He doesn't say MAGA.
Right,
He's talking about MAGA type kids when he was a kid. I mean, it's such a stretch what he's
I
talking
know,
about.
but hold on.
I remember those guys.
I know what he's.
I just like the way he says smack on the ass.
But in context, I mean, like, if you take what he's really talking about and you just take this clip, it really is, it can go anywhere with it. And this is how I feel about every one of these political texts that I get.
But I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
I want to send this back to Dan Watson and say, hey, Dan, here is your commander-in-chief of your party, and this is what I want to do to you.
But I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
Why don't you just send him some P. Diddy videos?
Oh, so anyway, today's election day. Dan, have you voted?
No, I'm going to vote today. It's
You
my
are such an
ritualistic,
idiot.
ceremonial sort of thing. It's a tradition. I don't celebrate Christmas in July.
Is your polls usually pretty busy?
Yeah, no, it's not. And when I go in, I walk in like, "Hey, Dr. D, what's up?" And
do you go?
I get the whole celebrity
Do you
thing.
go because
They already have his ballot filled out for him, Bubba.
Yeah,
they know he's coming.
They know.
They know it's just straight R down right. It's just all red.
Interestingly, there's a lot of complicated. Romina wanted me to fill out the ballot for her, and so
Listen,
Thad Horner, $20.
complicated.
Thank you, Thad. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army. Kind of a slow day yesterday, but we'll forge right on through it.
A lot of people are getting ready for the Civil War, Bubba. Alex Jones has told them to get ready, so I think people are buying
A lot
supplies.
of people are stashing cash right now.
MREs.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to buy a gun today.
The amendments here in Florida were actually the only ones that I knew that I wanted to vote yes on were 3 and 4. But I think there were 5, weren't there?
There's
there
like 6 or 7. Plus, there's also city and county amendments. And so I found it to be very, very complicated when I actually had to go through it.
You know why?
It takes a while.
You know why? Because sometimes the way they write these amendments
Yes.
is a no is a yes and a yes is a no.
Very confusing.
And I don't know why. Like, within the judicial system, the two parties have to come up with a verdict form. And the judge tells, both counsels, the defendant and the plaintiff get together and submit, they have to agree on it. Just like you get however many preemptive strikes during voir dire, you also have to both agree on the jury verdict form, right?
Yes.
So they get together and they go back and forth and they haggle back and forth, and then they have to submit the jury verdict form to the judge for him to approve. But it's not, it's give and take. And so I don't understand how the people that frame these amendments can't make them more user friendly for the average high school to maybe a couple years in college graduated. And just the average, you know what, Lummy? Just the average guy running, the Bucks and the Bubbas and the creatine the hard-working son of a bitches out there that aren't very smart. Not that creatine Travis and Buck are stupid, but they're just regular dudes. Big Red, you know what, Lummy? Let's pick the Nash brothers.
Perfect.
You should be able to write an amendment that the Nash brothers can figure out. Now, these are smart men. One is Jeremy, the indoor Nash brother, the indoor dog. He runs, CAD designs and all these kind of deals. He's very smart on that. And then the outside Nash brother, he's out there wiring up stuff, and he's a master electrician. But a guy like that should be able to understand what this amendment is saying. And all too often, when you vote yes, you're really voting no. And when you vote no, you're really voting yes. And so I don't know why they can't just make them far more easy. What was the one with the fish or hunting or something?
Oh, the Fish and Wildlife?
Yeah, I thought that meant that they're saying they want in the Constitution to preserve the right to hunt and fish for eternity, which sounds like a yes to me, unless I'm wrong.
But I think it might have been written where it's like
it's weird, it's confusing.
It was written like where.
Nobody prepares you for the Seventh Amendment. You only got prepared for weed and abortion. No one prepared you for hunting, fishing, and wildlife. I did the same thing. I choked. I didn't know what to do.
You know what?
I asked my daughter who I should vote for.
Seth, I choked too. I'm all yipped up on 3 and 4. I know when to go yes on those two. I know that.
I think so.
But
what about the other 5? No one talked about those.
Well, like Macho, he's wondering what's going on with what the Homestead one is.
Macho, okay. your mic is on. Now, which one was the Homestead one?
That's 5.
Okay, 5 was very confusing. I thought no on 5.
I think I might have skipped 5.
Okay, so just to go through, should we go through them real fast? I mean, there's a lot of listeners that are regional.
Yeah,
in Florida.
let me pull them up.
Okay. I have them. I can talk about them.
Yeah, Dan's got to go vote on them today.
Okay.
So does Macho. He's voting today too.
If I had them visually to show, it might help those scoring along. So if you can get them to Lummy to get them to me visually.
I'm surprised Macho isn't.
I just took photos of the ballot.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's not going to be that
that's
good.
okay. Then just read. Just read.
Okay. Well,
you're the best reader we got. And hold on. With regards to who's in this building right now, you're probably the best reader, and you're the highest educated. Okay. And the smartest. I mean, if you were just to take, straight IQ, and you're a lawyer and a doctor. I mean, you come highly heralded.
The most well hung as well, right?
Well, probably. I mean, God, let's just give the guy the entire, life trophy of winning.
Yeah. I can't dunk.
Most
Lifetime Achievement Award.
Most well hung, nicest car, richest. I mean, best looking.
Jay's not here, right?
Best looking.
Best voter.
Yeah. I mean, when Dan goes into the polling office and said voted, they actually have an additional sticker that puts,
gold.
Best. It's gold, first of all, and it's best voter of the day. Yeah.
It was really important to get wave of the day, so I want to get voter of the day.
Just look at this guy's ballot and just everybody copy this guy's ballot because he knows everything.
It feels like your ballots are going to get graded at the end. I mean,
actually, you know what? You know who less Babyface. Obviously, Babyface is a Democrat and his Democrat affiliation. But with regards to knowing the amendments, Babyface is the most well-versed. If he's listening, have him call me right now, Lummy. If he's listening, he could be.
Let's wake him up.
He could be sleeping. By the way, very much, our heart goes out to Babyface. He lost his father-in-law.
Oh no! I'm sorry.
Over the weekend or over the last couple days. His father-in-law was on life support. The family made a decision, and his father-in-law, I think, quietly passed. Was it Sunday?
No. It was the night. I think it was Wednesday night. Wednesday night or Thursday night.
So
those last couple days.
Right
That's sad.
when he was supposed to come in.
It's a shame it wasn't his mother-in-law.
Yeah, he'd probably give he'd probably give a portion of his earnings to whoever upstairs, to the church of their choosing.
Well,
if it would have been the mother-in-law, not the father-in-law, because it was my understanding that he got along very well with the father-in-law. The father-in-law was pretty cool.
Yes.
I sent you something on the amendments, just in case you want to have it. It's a quick guide.
Okay,
It
thank
kind
you.
of breaks it down in layman terms.
But Babyface, man, he really studies these. And over the years, we've always gone to him and said, "Hey, Babyface, what do we do here?"
I think he's volunteering at a precinct or something. He seems like he's really into his civic duty.
He's
so here we
stuffing
go.
ballots.
So, yeah. Even though
bundling.
So here we go. I got a PayPal. Thank you so very much. A very slow day yesterday, but let me see who came with my PayPal deal here. Oh, Fish on the J. He was my I think my only PayPal yesterday. And Fish on the J 25. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army. Also, supers work really well on YouTube.
Yes, please.
Let me. Somebody is this somebody that knows something? 813-90 Bubba.
I don't know. It's an 812 number. I think that's Indiana.
Oh yeah, 812 is Indiana. Hello.
Yes, sir. Beavertail out of Southern Indiana. Follow-up question: did you ever get the sales pitch from Alan the Democrat's house? That spam call you got a few days back. Did they ever follow through?
Remember they wanted to make an offer on your house,
yeah.
Bubba?
Oh no, I never did, buddy. I never did. I've gotten so many, unrecognized potential spam calls in the last, week, figuring they're all political, that I've just hit everyone, ignore. So I don't know if they were going to call me or email me or text me, but no, I never got a call back on my house that had a tarp on top of it. And let me, that would be, I don't know if Cantrell ever made a standalone for that, but he should,
Yeah.
Right.
All right. No, I never got it. What part of Indiana are you from?
Oh, I'm just outside Evansville. I've called in before. Love your show.
Love you
Have a
too,
good
buddy.
day.
Appreciate it. So here are the amendments. Now, and here's the deal. It doesn't matter where you're listening to us, whether you're listening to us somewhere outside of Indiana or whether you're listening to us in Orlando, like our number 2 market, which, by the way, don't forget, not this weekend, but next. It's the first time, I guess, Seth, we could call it the inaugural, could we not? Mm-hmm. The inaugural Content House?
Yeah, I mean,
it's the first time we've done that.
It's the Bubba Tour. It's Orlando.
Right. So
/ Davenport.
We got an Airbnb, and most of us are all going to be there. Tuttle and Colton are going to be outside in a tent working security. Everything from, and I guess we got yoga on Saturday morning.
Yeah, just pull up YouTube on your TV Fire Stick or whatever, and just keep it on Friday through Sunday morning.
So we're going to arm them with just whistles and flashlights?
No, maybe air. I don't know. Let's not get too far down that road.
Okay.
The other thing is, it's just a yes or a no elaboration. But have you and Lummy got in contact with my guy Shane?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And so can I may I ask?
Yeah.
Is it all that in a bag of chips?
Yes, sir.
I mean, Seth, is it not just unbelievable?
It's really what I feel like I've deserved my whole life.
And it's like, how did I, and you often think, like, how did I
get here?
No, how did I function without this?
That's true.
Like, oh my God.
Well, can we say what it is?
No.
But I want to tell the people.
Text me, Seth, what it is.
No, Dan, no.
I can't know?
I'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
no, and no.
Yes, sir.
No more speaking about it. I just want to make sure that you made contact with my dude.
Yeah, dude, Shane Brown's the man. Like,
I wasn't even going to say his name. It's just
I've said too much.
Shane. God, you're flappy today.
Yeah, well, this is my first of 4 shows, Bubba. So, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to be like by the end of today. But
I'm probably junked straight right into the wall like Dale Sr. Hope you have your Hans device on, so you don't get a basal skull fracture. But you're going to have a lot of trauma today from the 4 shows you got to do before the election coverage, then the election coverage. If that could go south on you real fast.
And then I got to come back for more election coverage.
And you got to come back for Wednesday, us bitching and moaning about the results. If they're not the results that we like, we're going to be Doomsday Willie.
Is there really no chance that we find out tonight? Is there really no chance?
I think there's a chance.
No, I think there's a chance. I really do. I think that, I really do think the reason why we'll know what's going to happen tonight, because they know the problematic areas to look for. They know that Fulton County You don't think that Trump has boots on the ground now? Every candidate has the ability and has the right to have election overseers, boots on the ground in various precincts that have been pre-approved by the federal election commission. So Lummy, hierarchy. Did you see that?
No, did you get that PayPal?
Yes, I think I did. I got a hierarchy, big.
Nice.
$200.
Thank you.
Oh my God, Hall of Famer.
Swing State Willie, Wisconsin.
So so I think they know that we need boots on the ground, not necessarily in Wausau, Wisconsin, or Baraboo, but we need boots in the ground in Milwaukee. We need boots in the ground in Detroit.
Every rural county in Georgia.
And we need boots in the ground in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Atlanta.
We need boots in the ground in Fulton County, Atlanta.
Raleigh.
Maricopa.
We need boots in the ground in Maricopa. We need boots in the ground in Vegas. All these places that went blue last time that historically have gone red, and the entire state went red except for this huge inner urban sleeper cell of Atlanta, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Detroit, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Raleigh.
It was weird because we all went to sleep in all of those states that you're mentioning. Trump was winning, and then we woke up and Trump lost all of them.
You'd look at Michigan, and the whole thing would be red, and Detroit hadn't reported yet. We went to bed. Detroit came back and completely had 3 times more votes than the entire state, and it went to him.
Yeah.
Same thing with Minneapolis. Same thing with Philadelphia. Same thing with Atlanta. Same thing with Maricopa County, which is where Phoenix is. Same thing. So you don't think that Trump's going to have a ton of people there, a bunch of Roger Stones in there poking around, making sure that there's, not a guy that walks in with, 15 big mail buckets, Lummy, with pre-filled out, handing out Big Mac chickens for Trump. Macho Man, your mic's on. Why don't you just blurt out what you're trying to tell me?
I don't want to interrupt.
I prefer you interrupt.
By the way, good morning. We're down a man back here.
Yes, we are. Now, is that my way? Is that your way of telling me to be easy on you, man?
Exactly.
Because you're like an octopus man back there, just hitting buttons and doing all kinds of great things.
Maybe.
All right. Can you tell me what you meant by handing out Big Mac chickens for Trump in 11?
Trump's people need to be out there handing out Big Mac chickens. Vote for Trump.
I don't think you can. The
300 feet away, right? What's the rule?
I don't know.
You can't even give water. You're not supposed to give water or anything.
You can't even have a sign. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Brian from York, Pennsylvania.
Hi. Now, it seems like it's all going to come down to Pennsylvania. And what are you seeing as far as boots on the ground, as many, yard signs, just overall, mindset? What are you feeling?
Well, York County's Trump. It's Republican, but Pennsylvania's tight. Hey, you're not going to know who won probably till Wednesday or Thursday because Pennsylvania don't count their votes until 8:00 tonight.
So they haven't pre-counted any mail-in ballots.
No.
Most states have already like when they close the ballots, when they close the polls, they already have the early voting and the mail-in voting already counted. So they start with that number and then add, what happened during the day. So you're saying that Pennsylvania doesn't even start that process till at 8:00 tonight.
That's correct.
Oh. Yeah, but here's the deal. If Trump would get lucky and pick off a Wisconsin or Michigan, then Pennsylvania doesn't matter as much as they want to cheat.
That's right. You wouldn't need it. Yep. Yeah.
So,
we're a little backwards up here.
What by what means, Brian, do you watch the show or listen to the show?
I got you on Rumble right now. I'm waiting for the Bubba Army app. I just got a brand new phone.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let me how you and Macho Man, Where are we standing on that?
We're exactly the same spot we were last week.
All right, fantastic. I know that I keep writing checks for it. I see 80, 90, 100, 500, $800, you know.
This one's out of our hands.
Yeah.
This is on the IT guy.
So, all right, Brian. Hey, man, thank you. And we're gonna start our show tonight. I should say. It'll be. Lummy, are we going across? Are we just gonna go on YouTube only? Or are we gonna go across the board?
We're gonna try to go across the board.
Okay. We're gonna try to go across the board, which would be Rumble, YouTube, X, Facebook, and Twitch is where we're going to try to be tonight. We're going to try to start that about 8 o'clock.
All right. And I'm driving to the Naval Academy, and I'm retired Navy.
All right. Well, appreciate your service, kid.
Semper Fi.
You're welcome.
You say that to Marines.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
What do you say to the Navy guys?
Down the anchor.
I don't know. I don't know.
Is that official, Lummy?
No.
Okay.
All right. So
Neil Mount Pazier, $50.
Thank you, Neil. Neil's been going through some tough times. Love that guy. Appreciate it. Is Neil a Hall of Famer?
He is this year.
Is he? No, he's an inductee, right?
Yes, he is.
Do you have the inductees right there, Lummy?
Yes. Give me a second.
Do you have the list of inductees?
Yes. Just 1 second.
Like I need the Jeopardy theme song.
Oh, and by the way, on the Kim Kardashian thing, she passed the baby bar. I sent you an article.
Is it the LSAT?
I sent you an article from CNN.
Okay.
So I don't know if it says she passed it, which is one step closer to becoming a lawyer. So I don't know if that means she can become a lawyer, but
like Dan, Kim Kardashian passes California's baby bar law.
Shadow Pen to $10
exam at the 4th attempt. Now, Dan, would this be? Well, let's read into it. She looks pretty damn good there. I will tell you that.
Is she trying to be a guy? Did someone say she was transitioning to a guy? Was that fake news?
Where are you getting your news from?
I saw that somewhere. That she was interviewing and said she wanted to transition to a guy.
Kim Kardashian has passed a law exam and moved a step closer on being able to practice as an attorney in California. Kardashian revealed that she had passed an exam on the fourth attempt in an Instagram post published on Monday. Oh my God. OMFGGGGG. Oh my fucking God. I passed the baby bar. Kardashian wrote alongside an image of herself in a bright blue dress looking into the mirror.
Is that like being proud that you passed the restricted driver's license test?
I don't know. Let's go on. Maybe the baby bar's like the LSAT. I don't know. Like the tune-up test.
Dude, I'm not happy when I can pick out the bicycle when they're trying to identify if I'm a human. So, I mean, passing the baby bar is pretty strong.
Yeah. Looking in the mirror, I'm really proud of the woman looking back today and the reflection. The post reads, for anyone who doesn't know my law school journey, no, this wasn't easy or handed to me. Kardashian said she was suffering from COVID-19 during one attempt to pass the exam, which was one of two she needs to pass in order to become a practicing attorney in California. So, Dan, it seems like they have like a pre-bar that you got to pass, and then you go to the bar. You know, that's what she says here. You got to pass two in order to become a lawyer.
Well, in Florida, you have a state bar and a national bar, and so there's two exams. There's one on each day, and so you have to pass both. And so maybe she passed the what they call the multi-state, and it's an easy exam based on 8 classes, and it's very standardized, and it's not that hard to pass. It's the in-state part that usually gets people hung up.
I was told by top lawyers this was a close to impossible journey and harder than traditional law school route, but it was my only option, and it feels so good to be here and on my way to achieving my goals. Kardashian went on to thank CNN commentator Van Jones for persuading her to study law, as well as lawyers Jessica Jackson and Ed Haney, and her professors Sam Farkas and Chuck Schnaholtz. Referring to her late father, Robert Kardashian, an attorney famous for defending O.J. Simpson during the murder trial, part of the Dream Team, she wrote, I know my dad would be so proud. He would actually be so shocked to know that this is my path now, but he would have been my best study partner. Kardashian ended the post with a positive message to fans working towards their goal. Bottom line is, don't ever give up, even when you're holding on by a thread. This, you know what? She's.
It's almost like she was destitute, and this, she's now was able to get her family back into a home.
It's almost like she's in my head. Bottom line is, don't ever give up, even when you're hanging on by a thread. That's how I walk my ass into the studio every day. Set your mind to it and get it done, because it feels so good once you get on the other side. Those who want to become attorneys in California. Okay, here we go, Dan. This gives the business. Those who want to become attorneys in California have to pass exams certified by the State Bar of California. The State Bar declined to comment on Kardashian's exam result to CNN, saying individual results were confidential. So, Dan, it's looking like it's a 2-part series, like you said, and she finally, after the 4th time, passed the first part.
Oh, she did. She almost did as well as Kamala, who took twice to pass her bar, but she passed the whole thing. This girl only passed half of it.
Right.
So I don't know why she's patting herself in the back so much for being, you made it to halftime.
So listen, let me. So we're not running late today. I'm going to go to words. We're going to come back with, again, everybody that's listening to us outside of Florida, you don't have these 6 amendments on your ballot. You probably have others, but you might have a marijuana. You might have an abortion. And then the other ones you probably don't have. This seems to be Florida specific. But hell, I had an article here, which let me see. The states that were actually voting on marijuana.
How about on abortion too? I'm sure there's probably 10 states on that.
Yeah, well, send me an article on that if you have.
Okay.
Election day is today in 4 states. Voters will have the opportunity to cast their votes for future marijuana legislation. Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Florida will see marijuana on their ballots. And in Massachusetts, where medical and recreation marijuana is already legal, they're taking it to the next level. They're trying to legalize psychedelics.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They lapped us.
Yeah, they did.
Jeez.
I mean, we're just now maybe
4 years from now, I can't wait to see what we're voting on.
4 years from now, Seth, you and I will be on mushrooms doing the show.
And it'll be totally legal.
Yeah. Seth, you got any shrooms?
Oh, big time capsules, Bubba.
So, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Florida. I don't know if all of those already have pre-existing medical parameters and they're trying to go rec. But Massachusetts that has rec is trying to go to mushrooms. So marijuana on the ballot on 4 different states. And let me...
looks like there's 10. I'm trying to find an article for you to...
All right, we'll come back with that, all right?
All right.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Yeah.
What's up, big buck?
I got a guy in the CIA who tells me stuff.
Yeah. That's top secret.
Yep. I got a CIA guy.
What was the worst one?
Oh, man. Bubba, are we going to take off work for that storm that's coming?
No, that storm is good.
Not one on the dirty side.
No.
No. Storm surge, man.
I sent you that article, Bubba.
Okay.
What's up, Dad? Thank you. Danny G.
Thank you, Lummy.
Man, I love Taylor Swift and her frizzed out hair.
Yeah, I just like Taylor Swift, and I never thought I'd be saying
I
it.
don't know what you're talking about, pro wrestler.
But I'm kind of I'm a borderline Swiftie.
Pat McAfee just fucking gave a whole review of her show.
Well, she'd do better than some of the Bucks receivers as far as jumping. That girl can jump up in the air.
What's up, Todded?
See your post or your message.
Yeah, she's like 6 feet.
Is she 6 foot?
Yeah.
She's like 5'11". Yeah, she's tall.
Abortion will be in the spotlight in 10 states.
Kim Kardashian seemed to stay out of this election cycle. No.
Because Trump helped her. And she's
So
still
then
kind of
why are we even arguing about abortion if it's in 10 states? There's already, I don't know.
Paul Rogers.
What's up, Grouper Lips?
I agree, Bubba. It's a non-issue anymore.
What up,
States
Fat
are
Pig?
deciding, and most states are deciding to allow it up to at least 16, 20 weeks.
I don't even, in fact,
What up, Neil?
I don't even know. Let me, can you maybe,
It's a dog whistle.
Hope
Can
you guys
you,
hang with us tonight at 8.
Trying to see all the different laws.
can you find me the strictest state on abortion?
Highway 73.
Amendment 3 would allow abortions up to fetal
Oh, Eric
viability. Yes,
Spoonermore.
but hear me. So Amendment
We're on at 8 o'clock tonight, guys. Babyface and Dan together. We should charge for that shit. What's up, Brandon?
Dog. So Dutch Duke. Little Wolvers off the birth. Jesse.
This is Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes together.
TNT. Xerxes.
Xerxes. I'm just saying it just because Dr. Dan said it, so I know how to say it.
Sounds good. I like the word.
Well, I sent you an article with the map and.
Okay.
Fun word.
Thank you. Thank you, I said.
Man, Danny, I actually might. Yeah, I actually might. Bub, I can hit your chair up today, right?
What is that? I don't understand what that means.
Your massage chair? Just because I got a lot going on, I can just kind of come in and out and use it. When I'm here, I'm there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Want to, Professor.
But have you learned how to do it?
No.
You just start pressing buttons.
Yeah.
Well,
Isn't there just like a pleasure button? Boom, pleasure, take me away.
no, not really, but...
Neil, month this year.
Nicholas McDaniel, $25. Thank you. From Utah.
I was thinking about doing it right after the show, but are you going to do it right after the show?
No. I was thinking maybe doing it in between podcasts.
Okay.
Camera Scott. Check your Venmo, Nicholas McDaniel.
Just go to the.
Oh, okay.
Xerxes, I think we got a showdown this week, Bears and Pats.
We're going to Kansas City, the stadium.
Kansas City what?
Stadium.
What about it?
I don't know, Paul. Probably better just to have a facial camera.
I've seen the outside of it.
On the massage chair.
I mean, who fuck wants to go to Missouri?
I don't think it's that hard to do. I think Bubba makes it harder than it is.
I've been there twice.
And what did you do? Just look at the fucking flat ground?
I mean, what did you send me again?
It's the abortion.
Okay.
I guess Kansas went to a football game.
This week, Bears and Pats.
Missouri.
Boring.
The football game was fun.
No, but the rest of the... Anything to fucking do? Grow shit. Grow corn.
That's funny, 69.
Pretty much from Kansas.
We're in complete disarray right now.
To the airport,
Complete disarray.
It was literally just flat planes.
I went from playoff aspirations to tanking for a draft pick all within a week. It's just football is just very.
And no stadium.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Lummy, we got to get a hold of our good friend Mike.
Yeah.
Because Mike, I mean, listen, here's the deal. Our studios are sponsored by Aqua Bieto, canned natural alkaline spring water from the Appalachian Mountains. And quite frankly, be careful what you wish for because, 3 or 4 of us are addicted to it here at the studios. I have the can up. I'm showing you the logo. Go to go to Aqua Bieto, AQUABEATO, aquabieto.com. Use Bubba as your promo code. You can have it shipped right to your door. It is, I refuse to drink water in a bottle. The plasticky taste.
The average Joe started ordering it for his whole crew.
Oh my God, I love it. But Mike, you got to return our calls.
Yes.
And we need 10 cases.
Especially for, come on.
I probably, honest to God, I'm not lying to you. I probably drink 10 cans a day.
We got an election special tonight. People are going to need to be quenched.
And so, Mike, please, Mike, let me send this to Mike.
Okay.
Send this.
I will.
And Mike, we need We need at least 10 cases. We are so addicted to this stuff. I refuse to drink water out of a bottle ever again. And unless I'm, unless I'm completely dehydrated, cramped up, parched, and a bottle of water is my only option. I want my Cannabiato, and I want it now. And we have our content house next weekend in Orlando, and I want to be drinking it over there too, please.
Please.
Plus, you're my studio sponsor. This is the Cannabiato. I'm sorry, this is the Aqua. The Aqua, we changed it. Used to be Cannabiato, and I told him, listen, that sounds too, let's make it Aqua Beato. In the early stages of the R&D, Aqua, not Canna. People are going to think you're putting weed in it, although I would like weed water. I would like it, but that's, the average, the average public wouldn't go for it.
Someone gave me like Delta 9 water.
How was that?
I didn't try it. I'm scared.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, this is Pro Wrestler 91. Good to see you guys again.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Bubba. I don't know if you heard about this or not. I was trying to tell Lumby about it, if he can find it. On TikTok, there's a person that kept trying to push for Trump, and it wouldn't count it. They kept going to Kamala. They kept check marking her. But it's all over the internet showing that on
I saw that clip on the internet, and I don't know how real it is.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's so easy to fake stuff these days. It's hard to tell what's real and what's not, and it's really frustrating that the media is so dishonest about what's real and what's not.
Hold on, the media, the legitimate media. I'm talking about ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, CNN, CNBC. They're pushing, like fake stuff too. So you don't even know what's real or fake. Just go to the ballot and vote for who you feel will do the best job to lead our country. That's it. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, apparently it is legit though.
Okay, well we're gonna look for it. Okay.
Thanks, guys, for taking the call.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, according for Snopes, it's a mixture still. It's 50-50.
Well, if somebody could find it for me.
The biggest mess is what Elon Musk has done with Twitter by just letting everything fly and only putting community notes on stuff. And yesterday there was someone doctored a Martin Luther King speech talking about how he's turning his back on Democrats and how the Democrats never look out for them, and it was completely made up. So that kind of stuff is what's I think ruining X.
10 states, abortion. They're saying now that abortion could single-handedly guide where this presidential election goes. A lot of people are not, a lot of women, they're saying that, the early voting and the mail-in ballots are skewing 6 points plus women, 47-53. And that is probably, I don't know if it's going to be the factor as to, why Harris could or would win, but it's abortion that women are most really, really freaked out about. And here's the thing. If you take a step back and you really look at it, and you see that, obviously the Supreme Court, when they had a conservative majority, took it upon themselves to overturn Roe v. Wade. Now, hold on.
Did they take it upon themselves, or they just were facing a case that made them reconsider it?
I don't know.
That's what happened.
I mean,
I thought it was they finally got enough. If Trump finally appointed the right people to get it overturned.
They just didn't declare it. They waited for a case to come through that challenged it. Yes, there was.
Okay, so there was a case that challenged it. They turned it over. Okay, so however it happened, the highest court of the land, which has held the Roe v. Wade, rule, so to speak, abortion has been legal due to the fact that in the 72, 71, 73, there was a woman named Roe and from Texas that wanted to get an abortion, and the state prosecuting attorney for Dallas was named Henry Wade. And by the way, he ended up being one of the most corrupt civil suit. I'm like one of the most corrupt state attorneys in the history of our country. They've gone back since now and overturned, 20 or 30 of his. He hated African Americans, hated them, and there were if you do any research on this guy, if you were an African American and there was a crime committed within a mile of your home, and you were the only black guy just hanging out on the porch
You're
that
getting arrested.
night, yeah, some black guy shoots a guy, 2.5 miles down the street.
Oh, must have been Bo.
He flees, gets away. Dallas cops would just go, here's an African American man just sitting on his porch, minding his own business. He did it. I mean, you can go and research what I'm saying about this guy, but in fact, they think that he actually put some innocent African American men to death.
That's disgusting.
Using the death penalty. So Roe v. Wade, he was very much in it because he said, no way, abortions are completely locked down here, and conservatives, and listen, and back in the 70s, Dallas was, Bible Belt, conservative, evangelical Willie times 10.
And to add context to this, the birth control pill was just coming out in the early 70s.
So that's where this case law was established, and the woman won. The United States Supreme Court back in 1972-73, when they heard this case, gave the woman the right to get an abortion. That's what all of abortion laws have been predicated on. Roe v. Wade. That, am I right, Dan? Like that?
Yes, and it became what they call stare decisis, which meant it was the law of the land up to that point.
So, there was a case, another abortion case that came in front of the Supreme Court, much like Roe v. Wade, and the makeup of the court was way different than it was in 73, 72. And they locked it down and said, we're not going, we as a court, as the highest court in the land, are not going to have a decision on this. We're going to throw it to the states, and they're going to make the rules on abortion on the state level. Now, actually, that's probably the way it should go.
Well, may I comment on this, please? So, first of all, they said that there was not a constitutional right for an abortion, and that if they wanted something like that, it was up to Congress to make that law. Now, from 1973-ish until 2022, when this all happened, there have been very many cases where the Democrats and the Republicans had the presidency, the House, and the Senate, and could have made those laws, but chose not to because they like to make it a divisive issue. The Supreme Court rightfully found that this was not ingrained in the Constitution, nor was it ingrained in an amendment or any other law from Congress. So they said because of that, and because of the way our Constitution is written, it falls back to the states. That is the actual correct answer. And so
everybody has made it what it's not. Right. And it's not a federal ban on abortion.
Not at all.
It is a throw it to the states and let them make the rules. And the other thing is every state that had trigger laws that have all, now listen, there's 10 states today, 10 states, Montana, Maryland, Colorado, New York, Nebraska, Florida, Missouri, South Dakota, Nevada, and Arizona will all see abortion issues on the ballot. So throwing it to the state level may take an election cycle or two when you get these states to vote on them. This currently is the map of what your state, what your state rule is. And if all the ones in green are legal, or would that be gray green, or kind of green? All the states in green, I think have, Dan, kind of the law that seems to be the most fair, and where both sides of the fence can seem it leans liberal, but this is how I feel, and that is up to viability, which is about 24 weeks.
Yeah.
So let's call it 24 weeks. So I think the states in green have a viability
or later
or 20. They could be. I think at the minimum, the states in green at the minimum have 24 weeks. Let's just say that. Okay, which is what that's where my belief is there. Now, if you look at the states, Lummy, that what can you read? All right, so we got Florida.
Yes.
It says a 6-week ban took effect May 1st, replacing the 15-week ban. Florida's going green. Is Georgia voting on it, or are they still a lockdown willing? Abortion is banned as early as 6 weeks of pregnancy in October of 2024. The Georgia Supreme Court reinstituted, the near total ban when the states appeal. So I need to go.
It's not on Georgia. I'm looking at the names of the states.
All right, read the states off to me.
Montana.
Okay, hold on. So Montana is here. So that's going. Listen, no, hold on. Montana is. Where is Montana?
Up right there.
Well, hold on.
It's already green.
Why are they voting on it? They already got it wide open.
And they'll confirm it.
All right. So Montana. Okay, go ahead.
Maryland,
which is over here. They're already wide open. All right, go ahead.
Colorado's
already wide open.
New York's
already wide open.
Nebraska.
All right, hold on here. Nebraska. Okay. So Dan, this is every state that's currently orange. I don't know of a state that had it on the ballot that it got defeated. Which
is why some states are being reluctant to put it on the ballots, which is what some people are complaining about and why it should be a national right.
I literally think it's like 17. After this next election cycle, there's 10 states now. I think there's been 7 or 8. Abortion's going to be 18-0. Abortion does not lose. Because people, no matter what, Nebraska, as conservative as you can get, Nebraska will. Can you do a quick search on where is Nebraska? Where is the early polling numbers on abortion within Nebraska? Because if Nebraska is polling, and I'm sure that their amendment laws are much like ours, where they have to be higher than 51-49, they raise it to a 60-40 threshold. That's where amendments, at least our state laws are like that. I think Indiana's like that. States that I've lived in, that I've participated in amendments, I think Indiana's like that. But most states have, when you're voting on an amendment to make a constitutional change, it has to be a higher threshold than 51-49. It usually is a 60-40. I know that in Florida it's
60.
It's like 6. No, I'm talking about, I think it's skewing like 65%. It's going to pass in Florida.
Oh, yeah, I think it will.
No, where's Nebraska?
It looks like it's currently, according to this article, is at 61%.
There you go.
It'll probably pass there, too.
It's going to pass there, too. All right, go on.
Oh, sorry.
I know I got so many screens open. Looks like
I can't believe there's an abortion map.
I know there is.
You got New York.
All right, yeah, that's a lock in.
Nebraska.
Lock in.
Florida.
Yeah, a lock in.
Missouri.
All right, hold on. Missouri. So right now, Dan, we got Nebraska's going to be green, Missouri's going to be green, Florida's going to be green. Continue on.
South Dakota.
South Dakota's already. Nope, South Dakota's going.
Yeah, so some of the red states are going to,
now
change to yellow.
Listen, South Dakota, how conservative they are. Abortion is banned with no exceptions for rape or incest.
It's a little archaic.
Now, Lummy, could you, I know I got you got 400 pages open. Can you go to where South Dakota is skewing right now? Because, Dan, if South Dakota is skewing like it's going to allow abortion, then all bets are off. Meaning, like, abortion is no longer an issue. Because if you have a state that has it on the ballot and their current rule is no abortions, no exceptions, no 6-week rule, no rape, no incest. Your dad could have sex with you and knock you up. You can't get an abortion. And if South Dakota overturns that, then this is a joke. Meaning abortion will be eventually legal in all 50 states.
It'll probably be legal in 47 of them.
It looks, yeah, you're probably right.
There'll probably be 3 or 4 holdouts.
Yeah.
It looks like it's 51% currently.
What does it needed to pass?
It looks like it needs over 60.
Yeah. Okay. Well, abortion might not make it in South Dakota.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well,
So
again,
here-
Bubba, some people argue that, stare decisis, meaning once the Supreme Court ruled, they can't change their mind. But if you go back about, 150 years, there was the Dred Scott case where they said that black people are property, and they changed their mind. And so the Supreme Court's allowed to change their mind after a generation or two of modernization of the country.
I think between the Supreme Court changing their mind, maybe when it gets a little bit more liberal by whatever, however many years that takes, or each state just keeps picking it off, and eventually, we got 45 states that have, very liberal abortion laws. Where up to 24 weeks of viability, I don't know why people can't live with that.
Well, the other thing is, Bubba, is that, as these states keep turning into abortion-friendly states, once they hit that threshold, they can do a constitutional convention and make it an amendment to the Constitution. And so if there's that many states that are pro-abortion, they can get together and make a constitutional amendment.
The Congress or the Senate?
The Congress, the Senate, or the states themselves can call a constitutional Congress and then vote on the language and have it approved.
So Amendment 3 would allow abortions up to fetal viability. A yes vote here means removing the state's abortion ban and restoring abortion access. Voting
that's what I'm for.
no would keep Missouri's abortion ban in place. KSHB 41 News reporter.
Be interesting, Dan, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, when all the votes are counted, to take another look at. Let me see if you can, even if you just take a picture with your phone of that current abortion map.
Okay.
And then maybe a week from now, when all the votes are in and laws are changed, to see what that abortion map looks like now. Because we know Florida's going to go from orange to green. We know that, right?
I think so.
I think Missouri is.
Elise Schoenig shows us how we got here.
So being on the state levels, I'm cool with it.
The U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in June of 2022. That immediately triggered an abortion ban already approved by Missouri lawmakers.
Yeah, a lot of these son of a bitchin' states
snuck it in.
They had these trigger gimmicks where if, like somebody back in the 80s or something said, hey, let's bring up some legislation that says that if Roe v. Wade is ever turned over, if it ever gets overturned, then we have this kicker that starts at midnight the next day that locks down abortion. You're like, yeah, let's go for that.
Yeah, they probably had to dust off the microfiche to find that law because it was, like you said, they were written years ago.
It was on floppy.
Yeah.
This restricted abortion.
Let me find the floppy from '82 that Missouri had a trigger willy.
At all states of pregnancy.
It made me physically ill.
Oh.
Ditto.
Rage.
That August, Kansas voters decided to protect abortion rights. Since then,
Kansas says hell no. We want Kansas that had a trigger law. They were quick to put it to referendum. Kansas said nope. We're not locking it down. We're opening it up for 24.
Women in Missouri seeking an abortion have had to leave the state.
The only way to correct this is to terminate the pregnancy. But that they could not do that because the law wasn't clear enough.
Doctors told Joplin's Melissa Farmer that her baby would not survive and that she needed an emergency abortion. After trying to get...
Discover your new Subaru.
What? What? This makes me want to not buy a Subaru. I'm really invested in this story, and you're trying to give me a Subaru Willie?
Right now at Subaru of North Tampa, like the 2025.
Who drives a Subaru?
Nobody.
A lot of people after this.
Actually, can I tell you who drives a Subaru?
Who?
I might get my ass kicked.
Yeah, Subarus are cool.
Ty J.
Yeah.
Subaru Outback. Lease for $2.
Care in Missouri and Kansas.
Hi, this is Ty J. Armstrong. I may be physically a bad-looking son of a bitch, 6'3",
yeah, but he's a sporty
285
dude.
pounds.
He needs for paddle boards and stuff.
Yeah,
that's right.
And
but when I'm
paddleboarding,
paddleboarding, mountain biking, or droning, nothing gets me there better than a Subaru. You got a problem with it, you come right to my face and you tell me about it.
I ain't saying nothing. I said nothing after you said Ty J.
If I was
had one.
Subaru of South Tampa, I'd be hiring Ty J. Armstrong.
Yep.
You know what kind of man drives a Subaru? Former Buccaneer, droner, bicycler.
Tower climber.
Tower climber.
It's not like he's pushing a Dodge Caravan.
Good ass husband.
She had to travel to Illinois for the procedure.
So did I. Back in 1986, when I got a girl pregnant in Indiana. You know, there was some. I had to take her to East St. Louis, Missouri.
So Bubba,
which is we almost got killed.
1986, right?
Right. I love I love the 80s.
But what I'm saying, Bubba, is that even in 86, when Roe v. Wade was in place, you still had to drive your silly ass to another area to get an abortion.
Well, that was because there were some age issues.
Oh.
Trying to hide her from her mom. She was
12.
She was like a Benny Barnotis song. I don't know why it's looking. I'm hitting play. I'm hitting play.
It does not want you to play that video.
After a legal back and forth, Missouri's state Supreme Court in September ruled the amendment could be on the ballot.
Yeah.
Since then, we've covered different perspectives extensively. That included Amendment 3 opponents who ran cross-country.
Remember the unborn.
And stopped to pray at abortion facilities and pregnancy help centers.
Now, here's what I don't understand, okay? Hold on. I can understand this person might having a dog in a fight. I can understand this person maybe having a dog in a fight. But what has this dude's got to do with it? First of all, he probably doesn't even...
Well, men and women can both feel strongly about this, Bubba. I don't know if that's really fair.
Pray about it.
My mom prays about this stuff.
I know.
There
Your
are mothers'
Your
wives.
mom's closer to God than this guy is, okay?
Maybe.
Pregnancy help centers.
I understand that every situation is different and that sometimes it might make sense or there's pressure.
Well, you're so ugly, you don't have to worry about anybody knocking you up.
Oh, no.
Jesus, God
come
dang.
on. She just needs some conditioner.
She needs some braces. She needs some hair.
Skincare.
Is she a kid?
I don't know what she is. She looks like a crypt keeper.
Really believe that there is a better option, maybe adoption.
I'm actually here canvassing
Maybe adoption.
She's unemployed now. Hollywood screams over.
for Amendment 3.
We also heard from Monique Ortega. The Lee's Summit woman now counsels women who've had abortions. She says that she regrets 3 abortions she's had in her lifetime. It's why she hopes people vote no.
Well, hold on. So her life would be better with 3 kids?
Why, if she regretted it so much, why'd she do it 3 times? I mean, she didn't realize it was regretful after the second time?
The woman now counsels women who've had abortions. She says that she
maybe I should be an abortion counselor because I've had 4.
Great.
regrets 3 abortions she's
I'd
had.
be like, listen, let me tell you something. You don't want this kid. This kid's gonna... you know
But
what?
Kids
are like luggage, man. You got to keep them forever.
This is an unwinnable argument, and here's why. Because you have to be a hypocrite. Because the people that say that, it's my body, my life, don't touch my body, are the same people that said you have to take the COVID vaccine. And that if you don't get your measles, you can't go to school. Same people. There's also the same people that says I have a right to have an abortion are the first to say, he hit a pregnant girl, let's tack on a double charge on him because he hurt the baby and the mom. So we have to separate in our heads, which is cognitive dissonance. It's so hard to do. Who has a right to their body? Is the baby an entity that has rights that are protected if the woman's assaulted by a guy when she's 15 weeks pregnant?
But hold on.
Or an abortion guy.
Wouldn't you, in order to tack on the charges, have to prove that by hitting a girl? Listen, I am not condoning hitting a woman, and especially a pregnant woman. In no way, shape, or form. Do not try to put that on me. But here's the deal. If a guy, hits a girl in the arm, they literally, and again, I don't want to bring anybody, I do not condone hitting a woman in the arm, but things happen. Arguments escalate. And if you hit a woman in the arm, they could get you for, trying to hurt the baby.
Yep.
When realistically, Dan,
you didn't know she was pregnant.
Well, realistically, I don't even know that there's a test that you can run to see if the baby, and even if you hit a woman in the chest or the belly or something like that could potentially hurt the child, is there an X-ray or an MRI or something like that? They just automatically charge you for it.
Yep.
They don't know that you hurt the baby.
It's theoretical.
Right?
Right. It's
In
potential.
her lifetime. It's why she hopes people vote no on Amendment 3. Amendment 3 supporters...
Is ours Amendment 3 or is ours 4?
Ours
3 is pot. 3 is
4.
pot. 4 is abortion.
Point to the need for more access. Just this year, Kansas added its 4th abortion clinic in Pittsburgh to increase access, especially for people traveling out of state. Women from
Missouri says we're putting it on the ballot, and we're building more places.
Kansas, Missouri, and at least 4 other states now use that new facility.
Big signs.
We have more patients than we can support, and we've been trying to figure out how to meet both the national needs, because this is a regional problem.
Missouri is one of 10 states where abortion access is on the ballot. Elise Schoenig, KSH.
Good. I'm glad that these states are putting it on the ballot. When we return, we're going to talk about our 6 amendments. This is somewhat hyper-local, or at least state-local. Our 6 amendments that we're voting on, all of which have to pass by a tune of at least 60-40 to be, a law. It looks like amendments 3 and 4. 3 is the legalization, the recreational legalization of marijuana for people 21 and up. And 4 is abortion, legalizes abortion before fetal viability or when deemed necessary for health of the mother. Those are 3 and 4. Those, I think, Lummy, are both pacing over 60%. I think those are lock-ins. We got education and elections at 1. We got hunting and fishing at 2. We got taxation at 5 and campaign finance at 6. I don't know. I didn't know any of how to vote here. I felt stupid. I just literally, remember back in the day when you were in 5th grade, you'd have to do those tests, Lummy, fill in the bubble, fill in the bubbles. I just filled in the bubbles. I think I did 1 no and 2 yeses. I didn't even know what I was voting for, quite frankly. We'll try to break that down. Maybe Dan will help us be able to establish. He said he didn't even know what they were. But now that we have them and we can talk about them and read them, it looks like this article that you brought up pretty much kind of in layman terms gives us what we should or how we should have.
Yeah, and then if you look at when it says it, in sum, it kind of...
This amendment would amend the Florida Constitution and require candidates to run under a specific party affiliation.
So that means if you're running for school board, you have to declare if you're a Republican, a Democrat, Independent, or a Green
you know what?
Party.
I voted no on that. I think that's the problem of our country, is that you have to have a political affiliation. I think you should be able to be an independent or no party. Well, I actually like the mayoral race of Tampa because it's a no party affiliation.
But yet it's a wink wink nudge nudge Democrat win every time.
It is.
So I think it's a fiend hiding of it. I think it's ridiculous. It's like, there's a sheet covering a television. What's underneath the sheet? It's a television. So I think these nonpartisan elections are shams.
We'll get into that. It looks like somebody's trying to call me. 813-90-BUBBA. We'll get to that next week.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Grow stuff, yeah.
It's stupid though. It's baby steps.
To grow stuff illegally.
They're the same dumbasses that said no to medical marijuana. It's a bunch of steps. They don't go from 0 to 100.
Thank you. Hi, Arky. Thank you. Hi, YouTube. I got my next stuff lined up, ready to go. I got some stuff today I got some stuff that I'm gonna play today that I think you're gonna find interesting. And I'm a silverback gorilla, and I'm riding, and I'm eating a banana. I can see that
We got some Deion Sanders B-roll. Deion looks good as fuck over there, ain't he? Again, hierarchy and fish on the J. Hi, big lunger. Yeah. More important, like 1,000. More importantly, smash the thumbs up. Please, everybody. I know XL. I know Double X Gaming. You've not hit the like button. I know you haven't, lover. Either have you, Brian Gilson, or Paul Rogers, or Alex Permagod Collins, or Internet Fred. Grouper Lips. Grouper Lips probably has hit the like button. He's pretty responsible. Let's get that over 200. And then more importantly, man, make sure you subscribe. YouTube's our work. That's the biggest thing going. That and our app, once we finally get it fucking done. Cold. Hi, Stacy G. Got a little Stacy G. Isn't that who I met, Lemmy?
He's not in the room, buddy.
Whew.
That iodine's tough.
Iodine.
An iodinizer or something?
Oh, the ionizer.
Yeah.
Oh, unplug it.
Well, I don't even. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not supposed to run when people are around.
Yeah, unplug it. Unplug it.
I'll solve it.
Dan will. Dan, don't turn it off. Hey, Dan.
Yes.
Don't turn it off because the switch is a little wonky. Just literally unplug it. Thank you for reminding. It'll quickly dissipate.
We
look how young Deion looks.
We just ran off Erica. She was outside, and then me, Lummy, and Dr. Dan came out there, and she's like, "Oh, are you guys gonna pee?" And then nobody said anything, and I was like, I don't have to." And then Dan's like, "I am." And then she ran inside the building.
Who cares a fuck? I don't give a fuck.
No, I'm just saying,
she
like,
needs to be upstairs packing and shipping.
but I'm saying, like, we ran her off because we were going pee, and I feel like a heathen.
Great.
Well, when the bird came out,
yeah, she's like, "You guys go
take
pee."
their hands.
Yeah, she goes, "You're gonna pee," and then ran inside.
I felt bad too.
I'm rethinking everything now. I might start using the toilet.
Bubba, I wouldn't run those ozone things near your electronics because they can corrode.
Okay.
Like like back in there, never put it back there.
No, I never run it down there. I always run it in general pop.
Yeah, and don't run it in your guns because it'll corrode the metal.
I'm bringing my gun to the precinct today.
And
I'm saying vote my way or get fucking filled with caps, bitch.
Well, you'll be filled with caps. You will absolutely.
I'll be filled with caps?
They will shoot you.
Who, a poll worker?
Yeah, there's cops. There's cops there.
At every poll?
Pretty much.
Yep.
Well, okay.
And they will fucking. You want to fucking talk about an area where there's not a lot of sense of humor?
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Macho, thank you. I know you're running a bunch of stuff today. With I saw the Deion B-roll. Thank you, Macho Man, for busting your ass, covering Rhett's ass. Rhett's took a couple days off, a couple personal days. Lummy, you need to find me that break where I established all of that.
Yes, I'm trying to.
By the way, I need to go to the fans. Whether it's Rumble, well, chat in general. Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. And do you like what we're doing during the hot mic segment is we're going to change it up a little bit. Boy, that ionizer is pretty rough, is it not?
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's irritating. I mean, it's physically irritating to your eyes and to your lungs.
No, I know. It's not good for you.
You're supposed to run it and then, wait 15 minutes and then you can occupy.
Right. So anyway,
it does eliminate smells, though, doesn't it? Though it does an amazing job of cleaning an area.
It is physically. It's a very expensive machine, by the way. Physically, how does it work? What is it doing?
The ozone binds with the particles and pulls them out.
So it shoots out some ozone, and then that ozone goes and finds the bad smell or whatever you're trying to get rid of.
Binds to it and then eliminates it.
And gives it kind of an...
It's kind of like antibodies in your body when it sees like a virus.
Great.
But it's corrosive to metals, which is why you shouldn't run it near electronics.
You've already lectured me on that. Thank you. So, Lummy, I need all of chat to let me know. We're kind of tweaking some stuff, and it used to be during chat I was in a little bit where we used to show us individually, and then I was like, I don't know if I want that because I'm back here eating a little bit and people make fun of me. So then we did kind of a wide shot of the studio, and then Macho, who is I think Macho is might be into weather more than any human being I know.
I think so.
I think he misses his calling. I think he needs to be a weatherman. I really do, or at least maybe a producer for the Weather Channel, because man, he loves. I mean, next to weightlifting and bodybuilding and going to electric music festivals, weather has to be fourth on his list.
It does.
Well, maybe his car.
Will he fly his ultralight into a hurricane?
I don't know. I don't even know that his ultralight's done yet. Yeah, I think they're still putting that together. But that being said, I'm like, hey, let's start finding. By the way, let me mushroom Mitch $20 on the PayPal. Thank you.
Thank you.
I said, let's start finding some of these old school interviews and porn stars before they take their top off and put it up on the upper box and just give people some throwback stuff to watch other than, the hurricane, tropical storm, Helena. And because Macho Man likes to run weather on our screen while we're gone for Hot Mic. I'm like, let's find some old stuff. So we're working on it. It's a work in progress between Gary Cantrell, Rhett, and Mach and Lummy. But we're finding things like I saw Lummy just the last break, Dion, much younger Dion, in the old studios.
Gary sent some stuff I'm going to put in the next break.
Perfect.
They're from 2009.
I'd love to be on a Hurricane Hunter plane, sure.
You should be. You should be on the Hurricane
Hunter
plane.
If we arrange that, that'd be great video content.
So... Lummy, I saw Stormy Daniels and Spice Boy actually make it out yesterday.
Yeah.
I saw, a very young and hot Stormy interview. And I know we're going to go to the Akira stuff. We're going to go to maybe Brie Olsen. We're going to, all these porn stars, the first 5 to 8 minutes when they came into the studio, there's a Hogan deal. I think Hamill went over to Hogan's when they were starting HulkHogan.com and went through his memorabilia room. And so it'll be really oddball, different stuff, but stuff that it's probably more fun to watch than, me picking my nose or Seth having an anxiety attack, which, by the way, Seth, you look good today. You did your hair. You got
I did. It's a special day in America, Bubba.
You're shaved?
Yes.
I mean, you
he shaved?
He shaved? Well, he's the kind of guy that can shave at 5 in the morning, and by 8 in the morning, he's already got a shadow.
Like Homer Simpson?
Yeah, I mean, he grows it. He's half Sasquatch when it comes to hair. But Seth looks great today. And so...
Thank you. You look super handsome as well.
Thank you, my friend. And so, by the way, Jay's coming in full suited up today.
Oh, nice.
Dan doesn't even know. I got a thing going with Jay that I got to go through. When Dan leaves, then Jay and I got to break something down that I found this. And I just got to break it down with Jay. And so Jay's like, well, if we're going to break it down and we're going to use it somewhere else, then I need to be suited up. Plus, I think Jay likes wearing a suit more than you do, Dan.
Well, he wears jeans a lot too. I mean, it depends. I mean, if he looks good in a suit, he likes to dress up. He's got a nice collection of suits.
Does he have a better collection than you?
Yeah, he's trial suits. He's got enough for 2 straight weeks.
Boom, 14 different suits.
He's got 10 at least.
Yeah.
I probably have like 5.
Right. So anyway, Jay and I got something to talk about today.
Iggy McGillicuddy, $20.
Thank you, Egg. Appreciate you. So during the B-roll, you're going to see various stuff, just weird stuff. And I guess I got squirreled, but I wanted to particularly go to chat right now. The nearly, 3,000 or 4,000 people across all different platforms. Do you guys like that? Do you like some of that old school throwback, stuff from people in the studios, whether it be celebrities, whether it be porn stars, whether it be Hogan giving us a tour of his memorabilia room? Like, that has to be better than just a wide shot of the studio. You're still going to get your hot mic, right, Lummy? They're still going to get their hot mic, and you may still have us individually down the very bottom.
I think people want to know that we're there.
Yeah. So I think that they're gonna have it like up in the left-hand corner. Seth will be the B-roll of Brie Olson, and then down the bottom part of the screen is going to be us in these little boxes. So we're still here too. And knowing Macho Man, he might want to try to throw some type of weather porn in there as well. But I think, Lummy, you have a better grasp of what chat likes, and you're the ambassador of chat, the congressman of chat, if you will, the president of chat, the union rep of chat. What's the cross section? And if they don't like it, just like don't be afraid to tell me what you think I want to hear. I want to know how they truly feel.
It's looking like a 70-30, 60-40. They do like the weather though, for some reason, but they do like the old videos.
How could you like the weather over,
I don't think anyone said weather over other videos.
They said they want the weather mixed in too.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe at times, but
I was just planning on doing the weather when there's like a storm coming or something.
Yeah.
I think I do it every winter.
When there's a storm coming, throw some weather in there. Otherwise, but I think the B-roll's always going to be in there. You can do both, can't you? The B-roll and weather.
Yes, and then we have the
then down
single shots of you guys too.
Then there you go. There you go. I mean, everybody wins.
Perfect.
B-roll.
Yeah, it looks like the people like the clips.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so we're going to break down. Who's calling me? 813-90 Bubba. Hello.
Hey, good morning, Bubba. How are you, sir?
Good, bud. Thanks.
Hey, just wanted to put a little point out there that I appreciate you guys putting all this information out there regarding the election. It's obviously an important time for our country. I think one of the most important facts as we debate on vitality rate for newborns or whatever that may be, or legalization of marijuana, let's all be thankful we have the right to vote, right? We live in a country that we can at least have these discussions and have a forum like your show to bring these points out. A lot of places don't have that option.
Our country, if we don't have that, then we're done, because that's what our country is absolutely predicated on. That's why we broke away from England, so that we could speak our mind and have a show like mine.
Good, thanks, Fash.
And so because the minute we lose that, we're done. I mean, we're done. I mean, we're over here bitching about abortion and the legalization of marijuana
and the government
and stuff like that. But man, the minute that we can't question our government, then it's over.
That's where you become England. Because they can't question their government, and they're arresting people for Facebook posts in England.
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, I don't think that it'll ever get to the point where we don't have that right, but I don't know. I mean, they do, the government, because Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and things like that are owned by not by the government, by the private sector. I mean, we don't necessarily have 100%, freedom of speech. A lot of it gets censored, and a lot of times you can be banned and blackballed and canceled because of your opinion doesn't jive with what forum you're on.
But you can't be arrested still. To this date, you can't be arrested for saying that. You could be banned. You could be restricted. The government can't come in and arrest your silly ass because they don't like what you say in America. And that is still the most important right we have in this country.
Right. You may not have a platform. You may only be able to say it on the street corner in a megaphone, but We still got that going for us.
Can't do that in China, Bubba.
Oh, God. That's the last place you're going to do it. All right, man. Good talking to you. Appreciate it.
One last.
Go ahead.
One last thing. We live in a place where Dan Diaco, Dr. Dan, is the amazing plastic surgeon, 20 years, board certified, and got to roll those Diacos around the farm last night. So thanks again, Dr. Dan. I love you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Let me here are the amendments that this is, kind of state hyper focused, but Amendment 1, establishing school board elections as partisan. They're saying a yes vote on this amendment. A yes vote would allow parties to nominate their own candidates for these elections and permit candidates and permit candidates to have their political affiliation listed on the ballot. A no on this amendment, a no would keep in place the Florida constitutional requirement that school board election candidates must remain nonpartisan and cannot run under a political party. How does everybody feel? I'll start with me, and we're going to go through the room.
All right. Me,
you, Dan, Seth, and if Mach wants to chime in, his mic's on too, but he's doing the work of three men right now. I think I voted no on this because I don't think that within the school system you need to be influenced by a party. You need to be your own man or your own woman, have your own ideas, and not have any political affiliation. Because political affiliations often lead to you got to vote one way or the other. And I'm all over the road with regards to I'm liberal in some instances and I'm conservative in other instances when it comes to education. Lummi, over to you. I voted no. I think no is the right way to go. What do you got?
I'm going to say yes. I kind of want to see just what their mentality is, where they're leaning.
Okay. Dan?
I thought
now
yes.
we're talking school board here.
Right, I understand.
We're not
school
talking
board.
any other. We're not talking mayor. We're not talking sheriff. We're talking school board.
The people are going to decide whether or not you can have transsexual people doing story time with your fifth graders.
Right.
Those are the people we're electing.
Right. And you know what? And here's the deal. You may not agree with that, but if you're a registered Democrat, your party says that you got to be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why within the school system, I think you should be your own man, have your own opinion, and not be influenced by a party. So I voted no. Lummi says yes. He wants to know what side of the fence you're on, what you're at.
Well, Bubba, I don't think this amendment's going to pass because I think it's going to be very 50-50-ish because I think there's good arguments both ways. I like to know who they are. I mean, I think saying it's nonpartisan, even though I've been a Democrat for 45 years, this is nonpartisan. I'm not really a Democrat. They're going to vote Democrat the whole time, or Republican if they're a Republican for the last 35 years. So it's fake.
Well, I mean, it's fake. I mean, it's not.
The whole nonpartisan part is a fake.
So you think it gets shot
moniker.
down? You don't even think that it.
I don't think I think it'll win by 52% because I think most people will be like, I want to know who I'm voting for.
And then we reset to what our current law is,
nonpartisan,
and that's nonpartisan.
Correct.
Seth, your insight as you have a child in the school system, the public school system as well.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was nonpartisan school board to begin with, so I just kept it as no.
There you go. Mach, do you have an opinion on this?
I'm with yes. I want to know what they're thinking.
Okay. Amendment 2, establishing a state constitutional right to hunt and fish. A yes vote on this amendment. A yes would enshrine the right to hunt and fish in the Florida state constitution. A state constitutional right to hunt or fish would make it harder for legislators to create laws that would ban or restrict various forms of hunting or fishing. A no on this amendment, a no vote means that the state legislator can easily place restrictions on Floridians' hunting and fishing activities. Such as restrictions would be likely be part of an effort to conserve various wildlife species. I don't know. I really don't know how I voted on this. I can't remember. But I think that the state, I would, if I had a chance to do it over again and my ballot was in front of me, first of all, I could have very well have voted no. I could have, but I don't remember. But had I had a chance to do it again, I think I would vote no, because I think the state should be able to step in, and when they see, a certain species that's getting wiped out, I think that the Florida Fish and Wildlife are not easily influenced politically. I don't think that any governor necessarily could get paid off by, I don't know, a fishery company or something like that. So, there's a lot of fish. We've overfished the Gulf.
Oh, 100%.
We have overfished it. And if we had this type of legislation involved where we do have limits on, redfish and various, things like that. So, as much as I don't want the government in my back pocket when I'm hunting and fishing, I think that they almost have to be in order to control the population of certain species. So I would vote no. I don't know how I voted, but I would vote no. Lummy, over to you. Now, see, you come from a part where, you come from where you were damn near a multimillionaire in a fish distribution business where you distributed fish. But let's also be honest, where the majority of your fish that you were buying probably didn't get yanked out of the Gulf. You were buying them from, various other exotic places.
Yeah, for the most part, and in the Gulf too. But I've seen the way it overfishes and how it works. I don't like it. And I would vote no.
You'd vote no with me.
Yeah.
So
Dan, over to you.
So what I think the law is implying that it would be more difficult for the state to regulate fishing, which also would open up maybe those like longliners and those big net, the gill nets and all those other things. Is that true, Lummy?
Yeah,
it would make it less. They'd sue, so they'd be allowed to.
I think at that point, if you vote yes, you kind of leave it wide open where you can bring some of these big long line shrimping and really, really decimate. There's less rules on what you can take, and I think a yes kind of leaves it wide open, and you again get these long line, really, really industrial, fish operations that are out shrimping or lobstering or crabbing or scalloping, and I think it will. I think our Gulf of Mexico is already somewhat overfished. I think a yes vote leaves it wide open to even decimate it further.
It does.
I think a no vote. Listen. You can say the state. You want the state to not be involved in your life, but sometimes the state has the resources to be able to monitor various species that we're getting, that we're wiping out, and they have to put rules in so that these big long line shrimping drag, they're not taking out our entire shrimp population. So I'm a no. What are you?
I'm a no.
Dan?
I'm really torn on this one because, and I think that this one's not going to pass because it's so confusing. You want to say yes, stay out of it. It's a man's right in a community to hunt and fish.
Is it a commercial right?
But it's not a commercial right. And there's three types of fishermen, Bubba. There's a guy like us that goes out and fishes, 2 or 3 times a year if we're lucky, and it's fun, and we have a good time. We're happy if we catch a grouper or a snapper.
But hold on, and I don't think that this law, I don't think this law is for that guy.
No, I don't think it really affects him that much. Then there's the guy. Then there's the opposite, which is the big commercial guy. But what about that guy in the middle? The guy that fishes for maybe Salt Rock.
Frank Chevis.
Well, some of his guys that small scale fishermen that are kind of professionals, but they're not bringing in 2,000 fish in a day. They probably would love this, but those guys arguably. And the commercial fishermen have overfished the Florida coast. And I've seen what it's like in the Bahamas where it's overfished. There's nothing. Indonesia, there's nothing out there.
You can't catch a fish. I went out on your guys' boat, the Vanquish, years ago, like 07, 08, when Steve had it meet us down to the Bahamas, and we took the kids out fishing. And the captain's like, listen, we're not going to catch the same amount of fish out here in the Atlantic that we would or the Caribbean, borderline Atlantic Caribbean, that we would in the Gulf, because this particular area has just been inundated with way overfishing. And we're not going to get, and we didn't catch nothing.
Right. You can't shoot all the deer in a state in 1 year, because then there's no more deer the next year. So wildlife and sport fishing and animals that we want to hunt do need to be preserved in some respect, so that there is something left for our children to hunt. There's a way to manage wildlife, forests, and resources that makes sense, is fair, but preserves them for the future generations.
Well, what are you voting?
So I guess you're going to go with Lummy and say no.
Yeah, go with me and Lummy.
And Lummy, and you.
Seth, quite the avid fisherman and hunter. Every weekend he's out crossbowing or or angling, or all type of scalloping, lobstering. Seth, what's your vote on 2?
I'm a fly fisherman, Bubba. I voted yes because I love hunters and fishermen, so I didn't want to disrupt what they already got going on.
Right. Okay, fantastic. 3 and 4, I mean, do we need to go through it? We probably should see how it's written and what it actually says. 3, allows adults 21 years or older to possess, purchase, or use marijuana products and marijuana accessories for non-medical personal consumption by smoking, ingestion, otherwise allows medical marijuana treatment centers and other state licensed entities to acquire, cultivate, process, manufacture, sell, and distribute such products and accessories. What does a yes vote mean? A yes vote on amendment, a yes vote would legalize marijuana consumption in the state of Florida for non-medical purposes, including recreation. This legislation enables personal consumption and private cultivation of marijuana for sale, requiring a state license to do so. It allows those 21 and older to purchase and consume cannabis without a doctor's recommendation. A no vote retains the current marijuana laws for the state, which allows for its consumption and sale for medical purposes only. I voted yes. I know that the big knock on it is, oh my God, if you vote for yes, then you're just allowing big weed and big pharma / big weed to control all the weed, and the average guy can't go out and grow 3 or 4 plants. Well, let me tell you something. The average guy that wants to enjoy recreational marijuana probably doesn't really want to hassle with grow
3 or 4 plants.
Seth would love for weed to be recreational. He goes to his dispensary, he buys it, it's been checked, he knows the THC count, he knows whether it's sativa, it's indica, it's a hybrid, he knows that everything's been checked, and there's no, I don't think Seth Kushner, Bubba Clem, whoever else wants to enjoy recreational marijuana, I don't need to grow it too. I can barely keep
That's the thing. It's like, I don't, as a 40-year-old guy, I don't need to be meeting a dude behind the West Shore Mall to buy marijuana. Like,
right.
If I could walk into a store and buy it
without having to spend $180 a year to have your medical license up to speed.
Well, you're going to pay taxes out the yin yang. It might be cheaper to have your medical. I'm going to keep my medical card, but I'm just saying. I don't feel like. I don't feel like there needs to be the stigma of it even being close to illegal. Whether it's just decriminalized, whether it's legal, whatever it is, like, I feel like you should be able to go into a store and buy it. And much like Dan said when we were outside before, it's baby steps, just like they were with medical. Like, you'll get this passed, and the next time we'll vote for, to be able to grow at home and, everything else that people want right now.
All right, so the only con, when they give you a pro and a con on each, right? Pro, I haven't read them on the other because it was pretty self-explanatory. Pro, marijuana business and increased sales from the new recreational market would significantly add to tax revenues. Such revenues could be used to fund a variety of other initiatives to benefit Florida. Sounds great to me. Cons, here's what they find wrong with it. Recreational marijuana will reduce overall productivity in the classroom and workplace. And how do you know that? How that's you're painting with a pretty broad brush there. Because there's people
and
that
you have to be over 18, don't you?
Yes.
Is there an age
No. 21.
21?
21.
So what classroom are they talking about?
Well, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like
shop class.
That's a pretty broad brush. Recreational marijuana will reduce the overall productivity in the classroom and workplace, and that it will put Florida law at odds with federal law. Legalizing marijuana could lead to a greater drug abuse in Florida, exacerbating. You know what? The invention of Fireball whiskey led to probably more alcoholism in Florida, right? Like, come on now.
We got to cure the fentanyl problem with something else.
Right.
But the only way to cure a problem is introduce another problem.
And here's the deal. But you know what? You're not going to have any fentanyl-laced marijuana when you go down to that state-regulated distributor dispensary. All that stuff's checked. It's barcoded. They can literally seed to shelf, track that strain. They know it's who grew it, where it was harvested, where it ended up, who consumed it, and so I of course yes, on 3, because if the only con that the people that are against recreational marijuana, if their only con is, they open up with this: recreational marijuana will reduce overall productivity in the classroom and workplace.
Weak argument.
And that you can't, first of all, there's no statistics to even be able to give me to back what you're saying. You're saying that anybody that smokes weed is a complete couch potato and won't work or go to class.
It's an archaic comment, Bubba. It's really an uninformed comment.
It's a 1920s reefer madness con. What's next? African Americans are going to be breaking in and raping white women?
Yep, that's next.
What? You might as well.
It's along the same lines of people saying, "Oh, if we legalize it, then everybody's going to be walking around smoking weed and everything's going to smell like weed." I don't feel like that's the case.
I think weed smokers will be hopefully as mindful as cigarette smokers and have a designated area or something like that. Listen, I don't
think there's going to be designated weed. I think you can smoke at home, but I don't think you're going to be able to blaze tree in public. I don't think that's part of.
It sort of is, but there's also, you can't smoke a cigarette or a cigar inside of a restaurant. You won't be able to smoke your joint inside of a restaurant. It's still smoking inside of a restaurant. They will stop that still. So
hello, who's this?
It's going to be there in public places, it's
going to pass.
Sundial.
It's going to pass.
It will pass
easily, and so will 4. Who's this? Hello.
Good morning, Bob. It's Fish on J.
Hi, Fish on the J.
Hi.
Do you think? Hey, Fish on the J. Fish is on the J. You think we're ready for maybe another little bass?
Yeah, I think we're definitely due.
Put
a female in there.
Put a female in there, buddy. Okay.
Yeah, he's got to catch one. Good luck.
Yeah, I'll try to catch. We'll try to get one about the same size, maybe smaller.
So they can have sex and have little baby basses.
That's right.
Exactly.
All right, Fish in the J. What's your opinion on what?
So on Amendment 2, I totally agree with you. Let me hard no, because the magical word conservation saves fish. For example, the glass grouper. We almost fished that out to existence. Well, thanks to FDC coming in and putting rules, now they made a comeback. Snook, the same thing. You can only keep snook, I think it's 2 times a year there's a season, and the slot limit is slow. Why? It's small. Why? Because of our dumbasses almost fishing it off. So I hope a lot of people did vote on yes on 2. Oh, the Indian River, the Mosquito Lagoon, 156-mile radius from Daytona down to Stuart, Florida, I believe. You cannot keep not one redfish. So once again, conservation, it helps out. So I hope people did vote no on it.
Yeah, we don't want the redfish and the snook to fall to the fate of the orange roughy.
So, Fish on the J. Love you, my friend. Thank you for the money. Appreciate you. Mushroom Mitch, did I say 20 on the PayPal?
Oh, there you go.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, Bubba, this is Bob.
Hi, Bob.
I'm also calling on the FWC topic.
Bob, where do you?
I understand.
Where do you get? How do you watch us, Bob?
25 grouper lips.
Listen on TuneIn.
Listen to us on what? I'm sorry, the horn guy.
Tune in.
Tune in. Perfect. So what do you got for me, Bob?
Yep. So I understand what Fish on Jay's saying, but at the same time, the FWC Board of Commissioners is made up almost entirely of property developers. You can Google hundreds of stories where they've wiped land in controversial cases, just wiped land clean for their own benefits. There's corruption stories all over the place. The chairman of the FWC was literally the CEO of Barreto Group, which is a real estate investment and development company. He's the chairman now. The FWC is a joke, man. I mean, the officers are awesome and all that. They're doing what they can. But the actual board does not care about conservation in the least. When they allow something to be exploited to the point where we have a limited number left, they say, oh, okay, well, let's step in now. Look into it a little further, man. I disagree, unfortunately.
So
I'm voting yes, but I understand.
Not unfortunately. It's your right, bud. Nobody's gonna blame you for your vote. I mean, you maybe you understand it a little better than we do.
Just look into it. FWC, man, it's like I said, the officers, I deal with them. They're great. It's the commissioners. Look into their past and what they're up to even now. I mean, it's court case after court case against those guys.
All right, I will look into that, and thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Listen to us on TuneIn. Last call before we go to commercials. We're way late, but this is the expert of all amendments. Should have just had him on. First of all, Babyface, in all sincerity, we always go back and forth, try to bust balls, but I am being very serious when I say I'm sorry, and I feel for your family. I'm thinking about, the loss of your father-in-law. I know that came pretty swiftly, and that happened last week, but, God, if we could have just been her mother-in-law, right?
It's always the one you don't want to go, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't want anybody to die, and it was a rough week, and I'm sorry I had to cancel on you.
Oh, that's good. I mean, but it was just
a super late night.
That's tough no matter how you slice it. Dan went through the loss of his father. I went through the loss of Merch Crick's mom and my stepfather. You've now gone, the loss of your father-in-law. So, our parents and our loved ones are getting, older. And that's unfortunately going to be happening, more often than not.
Yeah, that's the sobering part is we're going to be dealing with this 3 more times over probably the next 10 years or 15 years, and so that's the tough part. But on a brighter note, I'm excited for the election show tonight. I disagree with Alex Stein. I know he called up and was doom and gloom yesterday.
I know, and I was like, man, what does women that are up a +6 in participation? What does that and that tends to be because maybe they're really really hypersensitive about abortion and things like that. But at the end of the day, and you're the one that said it the most. It's probably going to come down to Pennsylvania and globally, or I should say, across all 50 states, women participating more in early voting and mail-in voting to me means nothing because it's all about just picking off the elect. I mean, it's about picking off states is what it is. Red or blue, which one's that state going? That's it.
Well, yeah. So if you look at the data, the numbers. So 2020 is an anomaly. Because of COVID and all the loose restrictions on voting, most states made it way easier to vote, which I think, not the ID thing. I'm totally fine with having some sort of identification to vote, but I think that we should make it as easy and as convenient for people to vote as possible with identification. But I digress on that. But if you look at the numbers from 2022, right, which is more representative of what this election will be, granted it's a midterm election, not a presidential election, women early voted men by the same exact percentage that they're early voting this time. Okay. So there is no difference there. What's key to me when you're looking at the numbers is that Republican early vote is up from 2022 and way up from 2020. And when you look at the mail-in ballots, the percentage of mail-in ballots returned by morning, which there still is more time for mail-in ballots to come in. You didn't get counted yesterday and today.
I think as long as they're postmarked by today, they still count. I think.
I think most places they have to be received in the election office by the end of the day. But when you look at the return percentage, Republicans have returned 56% of their outstanding mail-in ballots. Democrats were only at 50%. What we know about voter habits is people that request mail-in ballots, they very rarely go to the polls if they fail to turn in their mail-in ballot. So looking at taking a deeper dive into these numbers, I think it's going to be extremely close. I stick by my original prediction. It comes down to Pennsylvania.
Yep.
If Kamala wins it, she'll have 270. If Trump wins it, he'll have 286 or whatever that number is. And that's what it's going to boil down to.
What about
the Trump supporters, I would say don't buy into what Alex is saying. It's not that bad.
What about North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada? Are those all red?
I think I have them all going red. Now, I will say John Ralston, who's a very connected pollster and knows the state of Nevada very well, has it going to Kamala. But we'll see on that. It's an irrelevant state for the most part. Because that doesn't secure any additional path to victory for her. She would have to pick up another state along with Nevada. She's not going to win Arizona. She's going to lose Arizona by 3 points. She's going to lose North Carolina by 2.5 points, and she's going to lose Georgia by 2 points.
And how about give me the Great Lakes. Obviously Minnesota goes blue, but Wisconsin, Michigan either makes Pennsylvania more or less important.
Well, if she loses Wisconsin or Michigan, there is no path
It's over.
to
It's over.
victory
It's
for
over.
her.
It's over.
It's over.
And what are you hearing? What are you? I mean, I'm hearing Wisconsin is in play to go red.
No, Wisconsin is actually, the polls suggest that it's a little more likely to go red than Michigan at this point. I'll believe it when I see it. It's going to be get out the vote apparatus. We'll see how the weather is in these places. That impacts things. If the weather's bad, I don't know what it's like today in Wisconsin or Michigan, but if it's bad weather, that's bad for the Democrats. Their voters tend to be less enthused in this election.
Plus the Packers got beat this weekend. They're pissed off. Might want to stay home.
Yeah. So there's a lot of factors.
With regards to
a bad accident on a highway could turn the results of this election. That's how close we're talking here. I think Lemmy, what is it? A plus 0.3 in Pennsylvania. Trump's up 0.3. What's your prediction with Pennsylvania? I mean, that's gonna be everything. I don't really have a prediction. It's a 50-50 there. My prediction is whoever wins Pennsylvania wins the election.
Yeah, that's what you've been saying all along, and I agree with you. If you look at the 270towin.com website that I absolutely love, that will be that'll be our main model tonight as we're picking things off. It all comes down to Pennsylvania. It really does.
Well, you also look at how the campaigns are behaving, and I know on social media and in the media they're trying to paint the Trump campaign as panicking and blah blah blah. First of all, if you're not panicking at the end of the campaign, what are you doing? Because it all comes down to the last day. So I get that, but if you look at what the Harris campaign did, they pretty much gave up on North Carolina and Georgia. They didn't focus any of their big energy and efforts over this past weekend and the last 2 days on trying to win those states. A little more in Georgia, pretty much completely abandoned North Carolina, abandoned the media buys there. So that tells you that they know that they're not viable in North Carolina.
What about now?
They're less viable in Georgia.
I saw Trump was actually in New Mexico early last week because they said, according, of course, Fox News, but Trump's people were saying that he could still potentially pick off New Mexico. I thought New Mexico was solidly locked into blue.
Yeah, I'm not buying that he can win Iowa or he can win New Mexico. Those types of monumental swings and shifts in voter behavior we rarely see.
Hold on, Iowa. He's no longer. He's not going to win Iowa.
He's going to win Iowa.
No,
It's ridiculous. There's some random poll came out by like a newspaper the size of the Creative Loafing that said that Kamala was ahead.
Let me. So I study this stuff pretty well. It's Ann Seltzer. She is the number one pollster in the country when you look at accuracy. Now, I do think that this will end up being an outlier, but I think what her poll showed is that this result will fall into that margin, and Trump might only win points. His tariffs have a lot of small farmers concerned, okay? And that's a big reason why he may not win by the margins that he saw in some.
It doesn't matter as long as he. Listen. As long as he wins,
as long as he carries the state, it's irrelevant. Yeah, he's going to carry the state.
So I just took Iowa from red to I put it to brown. It's a whodunit. I got North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona. Tonight when we start this process, I got Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Michigan all as pick'ems.
So, but Ann Seltzer even said her poll was an anomaly. So, I mean, I wouldn't put too much credence in that Iowa poll, Bubba.
No. But if you look at her polling, her last poll, right, her poll prior to this had Trump plus 3 or 4, while all the other polls, which were only like 2 or 3, had him plus 8 or 9, which is historical. So what you get with a lot of these pollsters is nobody wants to seem like they're really wrong, right? So they will bury polls that aren't in line with what the consensus of the polls are. So polling in and of itself can be tainted by the pollsters choosing not to publish results that may appear to be outliers, they may actually show a trend.
It's like the studies on hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin. If it doesn't say what they want it to say, they don't talk about it on the news.
What about New Jersey? Lummy said that Trump was saying that he had a chance in New Jersey. Does he have a chance in New Jersey?
I think it will be closer historically than it's been, but I do not see him taking the state of New Jersey.
I just made New Jersey brown again.
I mean, if he does, though, that's the type of stuff that shatters and shakes the election, because then he doesn't have to win Pennsylvania.
Right, because New Jersey's got
to pick off a state like that.
New Jersey's got 14 electoral votes, so he picks off a Jersey, and then it doesn't even really. I don't know, a New Jersey. He picks off a New Jersey, Wisconsin, Jersey, and he's in.
Well, you got to ask yourself: is there a scenario where Trump wins New Jersey but doesn't win Pennsylvania? I don't see it.
Oh, I see that. I see that because I live in both states, and so New Jersey is different than Pennsylvania.
All right,
and people in New Jersey are much more conservative than people in Pennsylvania.
All right, well,
that just doesn't pan out with what we know of the voters and their historical behavior, Dan. Pennsylvania has been a swing state for the last 4 or 5 elections, and New Jersey has not. So I understand you go, in your circles that may be the case, but demographically, New Jersey has historically been a more liberal state than Pennsylvania.
All right, well, this is what the map that I'm showing on.
If he wins Jersey, the route is on. It's plus 300 electoral votes for him.
So let's say that there's a route from Trump. What does that do to the Democratic Party? Is it just? Are they just? Obviously they're defeated, but can they regroup? Do they start? Who do they?
Well, yeah, I think they'll be hurting. They'll lose the Senate and the House in that scenario, and they'll be hurting. And it gives them time to reassess what they've done as a party. That maybe they're appealing too far to the extreme of the party, and they need to get back towards the middle. It also creates a really interesting situation because Trump's not eligible to run again.
Right.
And does the MAGA movement survive with anyone else leading?
Nope.
That remains to be seen, and I don't think it does.
I do not like J.D. Vance at all. And had he chose, Tulsi Gabbard or Nikki Haley, I think the Republicans would be in a far better position after his 4 years. And I think he could take credit in the narcissistic way that he would want to, that he hand-delivered America their first female president, which I think we need eventually in our lives. And why not,
But do we need it, or should we just get it when the best possible human being in America happens to be a woman?
Those two pretty much line up as both top 5, and women, as far as a woman being the president. I would say Nikki Haley and Tulsi Gabbard are in the top 5 of that conversation.
Did you listen to J.D. Vance
Dan, real quick. Dan, real quick, with the male presence we have, do you think we get the absolute best person for the job? Or are we picking the lesser of two evils most of the time?
Yeah, I think based on the political environment, the social environment, and the economic and international environment, that absolutely Donald Trump is the absolute strongest, most resilient person that could possibly be put in office, where they're going to do nothing but ridicule him for an entire 4 more years.
We're talking about after let's say he wins, after his presidency, I think that a Tulsi Gabbard and a Nikki Haley would play better with the Republican Party than this J.D. Vance evangelical nut job.
But Bubba, did you listen to the J.D. Vance interview with Joe Rogan?
I've seen, yes.
You did?
And
you don't like his answers?
I don't.
He's a smart son of a gun.
Dan, please, can you take the MAGA D out of your mouth?
I'm not taking MAGA D out of my mouth today. Today we're talking honestly about politics.
You can't ever take MAGA D out of your mouth.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
I voted for Democrats in the past.
Okay.
I'm not a MAGA D, and that's not fair for you to say.
1999. J.D. Vance is not the best candidate that Donald Trump could have picked to sway him to win the election. J.D. Vance is a non-factor. He doesn't. You pick a vice president to deliver you a state, or to be the best possible scenario as the next president of the United States. In my opinion, and listen, Donald Trump's biggest struggle right now is with women. And had he picked a Nikki Haley or a Tulsi Gabbard, he no longer has that issue.
He didn't want a globalist.
Okay, all right, Dan. I'm not gonna argue with you.
Okay, I agree that having a woman running with him would help him with women. I absolutely agree with that, Bubba.
What's J.D. Vance doing for Donald? Nothing. Brian, help me out. I mean,
I don't want to get in a fight with you about that.
No, you don't have to get in a fight with me.
If anything, I think he's had a few missteps along the trail. And put Trump and put some words in Trump's mouth and said some things that have, required the campaign to kind of unravel, which is not unusual. But I do agree with Bubba that if he had gone with Nikki Haley, Kristi Noem took herself out with murdering her dogs. But if he had gone with Nikki Haley or Tulsi Gabbard, he would have been in a stronger place. I think he wanted Kristi Noem, but again, that book was just
killed her.
You can't. You don't mess with animals. I mean,
hold on. Hold on.
In America.
You don't think I know that? I was on trial. I was on trial messing with animals. Listen, babyface, I'm running.
You didn't even do anything really.
I'm running way behind. I'll see you tonight about 7.
Hey, what time tonight?
About 7:30, 7:40.
All right. Yeah, I don't think there will be anything major coming down in that, but before 7:30.
We want to go live at 8.
You can make it look $20.
Maybe 10 till maybe 8:50. I'm sorry, 7:50.
Okay, that sounds good. Then I'll be there around 7:30, 7:40.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
Have a good night, everybody.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
Well, we're not going to get it. We're not getting it.
Why? Because he's got a short, fat cock?
Who does?
JD.
Oh, I'm not familiar with his cock.
I can tell.
I'd much rather be talking about my candidate's pussy than a cock.
Well, your candidate doesn't have a pussy.
I know. If my candidate was Tulsi Gabbard, she'd be having a nice pussy. Pretty one.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
All right, we have to get through these amendments.
Goodness gracious, Tito's got me feeling fucked up.
We got to get through these amendments. Let me. I'm going to go through the amendments.
Okay.
And then go right to words.
Perfect.
I can be your hero, baby.
Clem Kush today, everybody.
I can rinse away your pain. I can
940, 73 months.
stand with you forever. You will take my breath away. Clement Kushner, Operation Pigmentation, live election coverage, turnaround, comeback, live election coverage Wednesday morning. Who's our president? Who's our king? Who's our lord? I don't know. Deep into Thursday, coming back.
Tommy.
Hey, Johnny Moore Baseball, you want to get fucking banned? You're getting ready. You're going to get there, my friend. So fuck you. Put you on warning, motherfucker. I got an itchy fucking trick. I got an itchy band figure.
Dude, we're gonna do karaoke at the Content House. Oh shit!
Drew Carabo, $200.
Oh man!
Come back with him, okay?
Yes, sir.
Damn, we can get some MREs with that money for the Civil War, baby.
Scratch that itch.
What up, Johnny? Nick the
Prime
Gun
Time
Guy.
Toys. I will anyway.
Oh no, I don't think I know that song, Xerxes. Alright, if you like JD Vance, put the eggplant emoji.
Third stroker, Pennsylvania, $20.
Thank you, Kenny. I agree. Thank you.
Here comes the
Oh man, ladies love JD.
They do. Look at them. Coming in with all these
You
both
got
sides.
3.
Rumble.
Come on, Dawn. Dawn, you're
Here they come.
Dawn, I love you to
They actually
death,
watched the
and you're
interview.
my friend. And you would pick JD Vance over Tulsi Gabbard, Dawn. This goes directly to you, Dawn. You would pick JD Vance over Tulsi Gabbard. You, Dawn,
Thanks,
as one of the strongest fucking willed women that I know. Badass, jujitsu, like fucking brown belt Willie. And you'd pick that fucking Bible thumping motherfucker over a badass bitch that was in the military and fucking.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Lummy, go to Mike. I need some water.
All right, homeless Drew Garabo,
Jesus.
$200.
200 on the homeless Drew. Good day today.
Damn.
Supers. Love getting supers on YouTube. See, we have my girl Dawn. And, when Seth or Dan be like, if you like JD Vance, put an eggplant. Well, a couple bitches put some implants or some eggplants. And then I saw that Dawn, who I personally know, she has done a favor for me when I needed when I wanted to get rid of the cat, when I wanted to, I'm just going to tell you, when I wanted to get rid of the cattails in my big mansion that I used to live in, they had this little retention pond, brackish, water deal that was right beside my house, and it would grow cattails at an alarming rate, and I wanted to get rid of them, but they're protected, like you can't do it.
Yeah.
What Dawn worked for, I think Swift Mud or City of St. Pete Water, some agency that she was able to get me the paperwork and the permit to be able to remove them. So sure enough, man, I had Tom the Tree Man come out, and he literally cut them all down. Then he sprayed the recommended herbicide that was recommended. A lot of people just go there and cut them down. They don't get the permit. Sure enough, City of St. Pete rolls up.
No, they'll come out.
Oh, somebody called on me, and I said, "Bitch, look at this." I threw my paperwork right there, and he's like, "It looks like for the next 5 years you're covered.
There you go.
You will not be hearing from me." He goes, 90% of the people I roll up on, when they're cutting mangroves or they're cutting cattails or they're cutting these crazy ass plant species that
Brazilian peppers.
Yeah, you start cutting these back so that you can have a better view, or it's not overloading your dock or whatever. He's like, I got a 90-10 ratio of writing these people very large tickets, and for
huge fines,
eliminating a protected species. He goes, but I got to tell you, you got the paperwork and the permitting to do this for 5 years, and that's what my girl Dawn did for me. So thank you, Dawn. To continue on, we got to get through the amendments. I'm running late. Charles Ramsey, let me on the PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, at the Bubba Army.
Should we not bring up JD Vance anymore? Is it too divisive of an issue?
No, I think it's a non-issue because
it's too late now.
Because he's the candidate, and I don't think.
Do you think maybe you could learn to love him?
I'm gonna have. I mean,
If you actually did listen to him for an hour talk,
I even watched his documentary. I even watched his hillbilly documentary.
That's a fantasy movie, but it's not really a documentary.
Okay, but I watched it, and it sheds him in a very good light, does it not?
Again, it's a movie. It's fictitious. I don't count the movie as a documentary.
I don't like
I
him.
like him as a person because I like his beautiful blue eyes. I like his education. I like the fact that he's actually was a big boy soldier. And I think he has the chops to be a president.
So was Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, she was also a Democrat like 3 weeks ago.
And what better person to be a Republican than a former Democrat?
But some people say she's a globalist and a World Economic Forum person.
Some people say that you're a dick.
Yeah,
but you're not.
But I know.
I'm just saying.
But I'm not running for president.
Don't give me the some people deal. We're moving on. We're moving on because I can't do anything about JD Vance. I don't care for him. I don't think he makes Donald Trump's ticket stronger. And I think that the person that you put in to be your vice needs to make your ticket stronger. I think they need to deliver you a state or deliver you a subsect of people. And I think that JD Vance does neither.
Well, if he gets the Rust Belt and the Democratic Wall of Ohio and all those little states.
Trump was going to win Ohio anyway.
Was he?
Yeah.
Did he last time?
Can we move on, please?
They're eating the dogs.
Thank you. I'd like to move on. And so instead of getting into a conversation that we can't do anything about, we're pregnant with what we got. The baby gets delivered tonight.
Can't still argue over the name.
Can't change the daddy.
Oh no.
Amendment 4 on the Florida ballot. Yes or no on abortion. The ballot language states this. I'll actually read the language. No law shall prohibit penalize, delay, or restrict abortions before viability.
Yes.
Or when necessary to protect the patient's health, as determined by the patient's healthcare provider. This amendment does not change the legislation constitution authority to require notification to a parent or guardian before a minor has an abortion. In my opinion, you cannot write an abortion law any better than that.
So what do you think about the parental notification aspect of it, Bubba?
As a minor? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what's your opinion on it?
I think absolutely. I don't want my 14-year-old having an abortion without me knowing about it.
See, some pro-abortion people think that law doesn't go far enough.
You got to give and take. You got to give and take.
Well, I mean, you can't get a tattoo without your parents.
Right, you can't get a tattoo without your parents. Right.
Cell phone, you can't sign a contract.
Listen. You got to give and take. So the extreme left wants to make it wide open. Your mom and dad don't got to know. And the extreme right wants to lock it down so that you just can't get one. We've got to have some common ground. And I don't think that you can have, I don't think this is beautifully written.
I think it's fair.
It is, no law shall prohibit, penalize, delay, or restrict abortion before viability or when necessary to protect a patient's health as determined by a patient's healthcare provider. So a woman could go beyond viability, something drastically happen that jeopardizes her life, and a doctor could step in and overrule the viability deal. I love it.
I think it's a very fairly written rule.
From where we are now?
Yes, it's where we are now is draconian. And again, where we are now with abortions at 6 weeks and even at 16 weeks, I think is too early. If you're going to allow it, then allow it to around 20 to 24 weeks so that people can actually make an educated decision when they find out at 15 weeks that there's a problem.
Kudos, absolutely kudos to who wrote this bill. It has everything in it I want. A yes vote on this amendment, a yes vote would legalize abortion in the state of Florida before the period of fetal viability. Fetal viability, or when the baby is estimated to be able to survive outside the mother's uterus, is genuinely assumed among healthcare professionals to be around 24 weeks into pregnancy. However, because the ballot language does not clearly define when viability is, it's open for interpretation for legal ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
Yeah, that too.
That protects the doctors.
Sorry, I was going to say, baby's got about a 10% chance of living at 24 weeks outside the
but
mother.
There's a chance. There's a chance. There's a chance. And it's got, like a 30%, 40% 2 weeks later.
And I'll take 24 any day of the week over the stupid-ass stuff we got now. A no vote on this amendment, a no vote would keep in place the state's current abortion law, which sets abortion as legal only within the first 6 weeks of pregnancy.
Just silly.
I don't even have to go on to the pros and the cons. We know what it is. Amendment 5, homestead exemption inflation adjustment. Proposing an amendment to the state constitution to require an annual adjustment for inflation to the value or current or future homestead exemptions that apply solely to levies other than school district levies, and for which every person who has a legal or equitable title or real estate and maintains thereon the permanent residence of the owner and another person legally or naturally dependent upon the owner is eligible.
Torture.
I don't even know what the hell.
It's torture.
Okay. A yes vote support adding an inflation adjustment to the current homestead tax exemption. Under the measure, the assessment would be indexed to the federal change in the consumer price index. For example, if the rate of inflation is 8%, it would increase the value of the exemption from $25,000 to $27,000. A no vote on this amendment a no vote supports keeping the current homestead tax exemption regardless of inflation. This means the taxes will automatically rise when the property values rise in inflation. They're saying that everybody right now gets a $25,000 tax exemption for a homestead tax event. If you own your home, they don't tax $25,000 of it for property taxes. So they're saying that they raise that number based on the consumer price index of inflation. So this year, you may get a $25,000 tax exemption. Next year, based on inflation, you could get a $27,000. I think this is a clerical error waiting to happen, constantly adjusting. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, home values don't go up congruent to inflation. They go congruent to the market. The housing market has nothing to do with inflation. It has to do with interest rates and things like that. So
I don't know.
It's a very confusing. I don't think it's going to pass because it's so confusing.
I voted no because I didn't understand.
Yeah, I said yes at first, but here's the thing.
I didn't have this little gauge to tell me what they're talking about. So my default when I don't understand something is just no.
Right, which is not a bad idea. If you don't understand it, just say no because it keeps it the status quo. And if it was that bad, we'd be talking about it and people would understand it.
You know what? Everybody in the state's talking about 3 and 4.
Ain't nobody talking about 5.
Nobody's talking about 1, 5, or 6. And finally, 6. Repeal of public campaign financing. Proposing the repeal of the provision in the state constitution which requires public financing for the campaigns or candidates for elective statewide offices who agree to campaign spending limits. I think that means that the Democratic and Republican parties help finance candidates.
Yeah, both parties have to agree. They have to have a limit, and the state kicks in and helps them. I have mixed feelings about this. I don't feel really that strongly about it one way or the other. I feel more strongly about these tax referendums that are coming up, which is the next page of this 5-page ballot.
A yes vote on this amendment, a yes vote would repeal the provision, the Florida Constitution, that provides public funds for candidates for statewide offices, governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, chief financial officer, and commission of agriculture. A no vote on this amendment, a no vote would keep in place public financing for the statewide candidates.
It's really irrelevant in the world.
I voted
no one
no.
cares.
I voted no, and that's all we have.
No one cares. But I think we should talk about the sales taxes.
Where's that? Where's that?
It's Hillsborough County,
It's
right?
Hillsborough County, and they're trying to add a 0.5% sales tax. I'm against that. They're also trying to add, in the second one for Hillsborough County, a referendum about the school board county election, millage election. And so, again, they're trying to sneak in ways to add taxes. Say no to all these little amendments for the Hillsborough County taxes unless you want your taxes to go up and for them to just piss away the money on special interests.
There has been a song written by a rapper. Breaking news. Who's the rapper, Seth?
Will.i.am from Black Eyed Peas.
Oh,
okay.
I like him.
And dropped a new track titled "Yes, She Can," and yes, she is Kamala. So is this a pro Kamala song?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we might.
Of course.
Yeah.
Mama, what's wrong with America? Why can't we get along in America? Something's going on in America. People entertained by the predator. We used to be united in America. Now we just divided in America. We all immigrants, different characters, but together, we.
I mean, in full disclosure, we got to play both sides of the fence. There was a Trump baby song. We'd be playing it, and we have. So we got to play a pro.
I don't have a problem playing a song.
Break down the barriers. So register and vote for your life. Do it for your daughters and your sons and your wife. If you a woman, then vote for your rights. And don't let them take away your rights. We could be better than we ever been.
A little late. It's a good song. It's a good song.
It's catchy.
Tough to release a song with a one-day shelf life.
Yeah, that's what I want to get ready to say, Seth. It's so good that maybe a month ago it could have made a difference, right? I mean, if you're trying to influence people to vote for Kamala, this is a catchy. It's good. It's well produced. It's good. But 24 hours is all you're. Come on.
12.
We're about to have a woman president. Haters gonna say that we can't, but the word American says that I can. And we say, yes, she 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 can. And he say, yes, she can. And she say, yes, she can. And they say, yes, she can.
You learn the words pretty easily.
And we say, yes, she can. Yes, she can.
It's so good that you, Will.i.am, you effed up, you idiot. This should have been out October 1st. She should have walked out this on the DNC. Right? He should have performed this live.
Yeah, she can.
Instead of pretending Beyonce was going to.
Oh, she can. Yeah, she can. Yeah, she can.
My lady bumps.
Yeah, she can.
I mean humps. My lovely lady humps.
I mean, there you go. J.D. Vance has his own little. I mean, everybody's scrambling. Here's J.D. Vance's latest.
Is he singing?
No, he's just doing a little one-off.
This is a six-pack under the leadership of Kamala Harris. This is a six-pack under the leadership of Donald J. Trump. Let's make America great again.
Stupid.
Hold on. Thank you.
That's stupid. That's stupid.
So far.
I mean, I can honestly say that's stupid. He's a smart guy. That's stupid.
Starting to feel my vibes a little bit, kid.
Yeah. He's still superior
Is Kamala Harris.
to most human beings.
There we go.
C, and the trash's name is Kamala Harris.
He's got eye makeup on.
People say that he wears eyeliner, but I don't
think so,
man.
Seth, man. He's got like that or he's goth.
He's got such
Forgive me
beautiful
one more
eyes.
time.
In 2 days, we are going to take out the trash in Washington, D.C., and the trash's name is Kamala Harris.
Yeah, he called her
In my humble
trash.
view, lights out. Women, you can disagree with us. We've actually learned to take it for our whole careers all the time in every forum. But you call us trash? Oh.
You didn't call all women trash?
J.D. Vance.
Hold on now. And I agree with you, Dan, in the fact that your opponent
is trash.
When the Packers are playing the Bears are saying, man, we're going to take out the trash. When the Lightning are playing the Panthers, we're like, we're taking out the trash.
Yeah, they didn't.
He didn't say all women. He didn't say Kamala Harris represents all women, and we're taking out the trash. Woo!
Right. That's a distinction of what they said about, Trump. They called Trump a racist, a fascist, a communist, a Nazi. But they said that his supporters were garbage. He didn't say that Kamala's supporters are trash. He said that she is trash. He didn't say all women or all her supporters. He just talked about a person, the target of his opponent.
Let's do it.
Patrick Mahomes' mom, she's showing you who she supported.
America's great again. Let's do it.
A lot of people were waiting for that one, Bubba.
America's great again. Let's do it.
No, they were not, Seth.
Now that Randy Mahomes has made her pick.
This is what they were waiting for. Hot-ass Taylor Swift to arrive to the game with knee-high boots, looking hot as hell. That's what they're looking for. Taylor Swift makes the game, the Monday night game last night. I think Travis.
He had a good game.
Yeah, he had 100 yards.
Yeah,
he
caught everything at the end.
He damn near got that touchdown. Taylor Swift is back at her home away from home, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, as she is ready to watch Travis Kelce ball out on Monday. The singer is in the house to watch the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. She had just arrived wearing a mostly black outfit with a matching top, shorts, and knee-high boots, looking hot as absolute hell.
Bringing her mom as always.
Bringing her mom.
That's her mom, the lady next to her?
No. Her mom's in the back.
Oh, okay.
So I was gonna let me see who this is. I
didn't say that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Never mind. Let me go to words. So I'm not so far late. We're gonna break down the game a little bit, but I wanted to play this apology. And so we all know that Jason Kelce was part of a snatch and grab on a cell phone at the Penn State Ohio State game.
No charges are coming.
I think it might have been different had he injured the guy, or shoved the guy, or battered the guy, but nonetheless, he did come up with, I feel, a very sincere explanation as to what happens. And we compared this, just as we compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, we compared this to, there was a situation that was very close to my life. The Merch Crick went down to a Mike Calta event with her cell phone. He snatched it from her, smashed her in the face deleted 3 videos, called her a dirty C word, and she asked management, Mike Oliveira at the time, to get involved. Nobody intervened. She got yoked up by a guy named, I don't know what his name was, but he was a felon, or he's committed a felony before, or he's a registered felon. And Mike Calta was not charged with anything, but he was, I didn't know if you guys knew this or not, he had to come up with a public apology. And nobody heard it. Nobody heard it, but I have it. And I wanted to show you the difference between a sincere public apology and a chicken shiz public apology. Here's Jason Kelsey and his not apology but explanation as to what happened. And very sincere. Love it.
Some stuff on your mind, and I want to give you the floor to say what's on your mind.
Yeah. Listen, I think everybody's seen on social media everything that took place this week.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to listen. I'm not happy with anything that took place. I'm not proud of it, and in a heated moment, I chose to greet hate with hate, and I just don't think that that's a productive thing. I really don't. I don't think that it leads to discourse, and it's the right way to go about things. And in that moment, I fell down to a level that I shouldn't have. So I think the bottom line is, I want to live my life. I try to live my life by the golden rule. That's what I've always been taught. I try to treat people with common decency and respect, and I'm going to keep doing that moving forward. Even though I fell short this week, I'm going to do that moving forward and continue to do that. So, I think we got a game to focus on. Obviously, a matchup. I don't think this is the platform to necessarily go into more detail.
He's protecting that Campbell Soup money.
Much respect, bro.
Respect.
Real. All respect, my friend. No doubt. You have more to say. We'll be listening with that. And in the meantime, as you say, we got a game to get to. And
so
some stuff on your
like that, in my opinion, was sincere. He didn't hurt the person, right?
No.
He didn't hurt the person. He didn't smash the person in the face. He
should have.
He didn't do any of that.
Jay's here. All suited up.
Because, that guy did push him, so.
So I wanted to play a sincere apology. And Jay, this isn't what you and I are going to talk about later, but this is just the beginning of it.
Before you drop the Calta, do you think that Jason Kelsey had backlash from, LGBT?
Yeah, yes.
Everybody.
Really?
Campbell Soup. Marriott, the people that
Old Spice.
The people that just wrote him a big check.
I don't use
for his podcasting.
I don't use that F word at all, man. But there is just nothing on my radar that said he did anything wrong on Saturday.
I think the way TMZ spit it out. Remember, Seth, we saw that one where they just showed him saying the F word.
Yeah, they never showed what the guy did initially.
Exactly.
So here's the deal.
Did he repeat it?
If Jason Kelsey didn't do anything wrong, and he's that sorry, you could see, that he was humbly sorry. Right, Seth?
Yes,
you could tell that he was, the minute 30 of genuinely being sorry, even though it wasn't that big of a deal. The sorry aspect was sincere, from the heart, wasn't buried with...
Oh, he looks like he's been wrestling with it, man.
Yeah, exactly, and he probably has. And so when Mike Calta gets suspended for a week... and it was probably a complete shiz storm over there. They never reached out to Merch Crick. They never reached out to Jay, Merch Crick's attorney. They just issued and this was supposed to make everything go away. And just listen, we just heard a very sincere Jason Kelsey. And one that you can't argue with was very sincere. Here's what Mike Calta said. No, and I've never played this on my show because I never had reason to. because I never had a high-profile person snatch a person's phone from them and be in a similar situation as to what the merch crick was, less the physical and emotional abuse that she's had to endure for over a year.
And the verbal attack that he made on her, which is far worse than merely repeating the word that the guy whose phone you took.
Right.
He called her the C. I mean, it's,
a dirty F you dirty C word.
Anyone who uses that in the real world to a woman is,
Listen, you want to hear how derogatory a C word is? Next time you're fighting with your wife, call her that.
Yeah, I may lose my Achilles heel.
You're going to lose everything.
I don't think I've ever said that word in my life.
No, like in context, like to somebody's face.
Nope.
I've never.
No, like I don't even think I've said it.
Especially
to a woman.
Yeah,
hold on,
like even
feels
this
good to the TV.
Especially to a woman that you just accosted, hit, got thrown out of an event.
Yeah.
And now has her phone and are going through her phone, erasing the video that she took of you.
Talking to yourself.
Here's what his apology was. And Jay, I think when you play this to certain people, along with other stuff, you say, hey, this, how sorry was Mike Calta? This is how sorry he was. He opened his show when his first day back after a 3 or 4 day suspension, and this is how he opens up his show.
It is a Mike Calta show. It's 1025 The Bone. Recently at an event, I reacted to a situation in a way that I wish I had not. I said things and behaved in a manner that I regret, and I am sorry. I expect more from myself, and you should expect more from me, too. I appreciate the support of everyone in our listening community, and I'm very thankful to be back. It is Thursday.
Boom.
He admits there is an incident, though, doesn't he?
He does.
He sure does.
But, God, is that not just...
whitewashing something down?
But does that not even make it worse? That you can't even sincerely say, hey, man, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I thought that Cox Radio was a woman-empowered company.
Oh, Apollo Global. If you go to Apollo Global, you can say they have a whole division of woman empowerment.
If this is acceptable language and physical action in the workplace in corporate America today, I think not.
Recently at an event, I reacted to a situation in a way that I wish I had not. I said things and behaved in a manner that I regret, and I am sorry. I expect more from myself, and you should expect more from me, too. I appreciate the support of everyone in our listening community, and I'm very thankful to be back.
Boom. Yeah, you are. I mean,
I wonder if there's any counseling.
I don't know. Did he have to go to any? Did he have to go through any? Sensitivity training?
I would imagine in corporate America, when you make some sort of a mistake that you have to admit to something on air, there's some sort of ramifications, whether it's a violence course or something. I mean, if this happened in the normal world, there's ramifications, isn't there? I think you normally, they're about to trying to cancel Kelsey, who, by the way, one of the best football players ever, first ballot Hall of Famer most likely, who's defending his brother. It's a little different.
Way different.
Little different. And so I've never been one that's like hurt filioma from words, but I think that when you have a corporate event and you have a corporate representative that's conducting themselves in this way, that when they admit to something, there has to be some sort of consequence. And, it'll be interesting to see what that consequence was, if any.
Oh, it's going to be. Yeah, I got one other thing to play later today, and that's why Jay wore a suit, because it's something that's very important that I just found. I just found this, and I've been talking to various people, and they're like, "Hey, I need you to throw this over to Jay and get his opinion on it, because it's something we might want to use." So. I talked to Jay about it. I sent Jay the piece yesterday so that he knows what we're talking about. And Jay's like, hey, man, I think I should probably come in suited up on this deal.
Oh, is this for the doc?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Jay is really, really a major part of the doc. Jay has... Lummy. Lummy, was that you?
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting there, buddy.
I know.
I'm getting there.
All right.
Jay and Kevin are probably, and Tom Bean are probably the 1, 2, and 3 with regards to walking people through this whole process. So we're not going to get to that till after Dan leaves and Jay's sitting in his seat. Dan's going to probably get mad because he doesn't even know what we're talking about.
I won't get mad. I'm just curious.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
I'm going to different precincts today to sing the national anthem, so
That would be
hopefully
amazing.
you guys see me there.
You should wear that hat you wore last year with and go with some
sparklers. Yeah, the Uncle Sam hat.
Uncle Sam.
I need that. And then I'll also be doing the Canadian national anthem as well. That's a good song. People need to hear it. Oh, Canada.
I may sing that with you.
Our home and native land. I jerk it to these old clips that you play, Bubba. You're doing a good job, man.
Thank you, buddy.
And I'm proud to be an American.
He's in his own little world today.
That's hilarious.
Proud American.
Yesterday he had a zinger before every single break. Have you seen that dance party with Beyonce video stuff from TikTok, Bubba?
Mm-mm.
They take a clip from Trump at a rally, they turn it into a beat, and then they have a bunch of hot women dancing to it. It's hilarious. I think Joe Rogan's endorsement came out about the same time as Will.i.am's fucking thing, maybe a week or two later. So, you know, I mean, I'm gonna announce it at 8 p.m. the night before the election.
Same-day voters locked in.
Yeah.
So, Lummy, I don't think that this story. I think this goes to a Megyn Kelly fucking rant.
Megyn Kelly endorsed him last night on his second to last rally.
Right there.
Oh yeah, she goes off on this.
On the what?
Well, Doug Emhoff was allegedly involved in a physical altercation with one of his girlfriends before he married Kamala Harris in, I think, Cannes or something in a film festival.
All right, so listen,
And so no one ever covered it.
All right,
And so this is her going
All right,
crazy.
so I'm
about
going to
that.
throw it over to you to say that.
I think the 6 abuse of Republicans, abuse.
All right, but I'm going to say, I'm going to throw it to you to say that, and
Okay.
then we got to get to this CBS.
No doubt. And if you have time to indulge me at some point, watch that dance party with Beyonce. You'll
Lummy's going to have to send it
cry
to
out
me.
loud.
Lummy's going to have to send it to me.
I just did. I think I just sent it to you. But-
Sending it to my text doesn't like I can't.
Yeah, the text you and I were
No, Lummy,
communicating with yesterday.
you got to send it to Lummy. I can't
I
get.
sent it to Lummy. We sent it to him, Lummy? Yeah. Okay.
It's ladies' night.
But we're way behind. Way behind.
It's, yeah, of course, whatever you need. I thought in the wake of the Will.i.am, it was pretty funny. There's some eye candy on there. All right. This is interesting.
Did they show Taylor during the game last night?
A couple times, not a lot.
Yeah, I didn't. I just saw her before the game. I didn't see her during.
I called it towards the end and at the beginning, not much in the middle.
Would you say this is one of the
It was a good game, though. I
one
mean,
of the longer relationships she's had? They were together a year or so.
She was with a guy for like 7 years. She looked
was
before
she?
this. Yeah,
Was that
she
the
looked.
hockey player?
No, it was like this. I don't know what he was. Maybe he was just like a regular British guy, but she lived in London for a while and was very private. Yeah. But I'm happy for him.
What's her home?
Me too.
What's her home? What's home for her?
Tennessee.
She's got a house in. She's got a place in New York. She's got a place in Rhode Island and in Nashville.
I think she like high school.
I think it's Tennessee because I know she votes in Tennessee because she was on that March of Black.
That's her domicile.
That's her domicile. That's her big thing.
She might not have gone to. She might not have gone to high school. Actually,
she sang her way right past that.
Yeah,
right?
she might have.
Yeah.
There's a video of her in high school, like being discovered or whatever, like a young one.
But she was
Toby Keith.
Yeah. But she's been touring.
Superstar, man.
She's been touring for a while.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Couple quick little stories. One, the Detroit Pistons.
This is like a movie.
They poor guys. And you got to think, man, the NBA guys are very coddled, very, very, very highly paid. Got to think, what's the league minimum? Like,
I don't even know.
$3 million?
I think it's probably more than that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Killer.
I mean,
It's a good base.
I mean, you can be the 12th man and you're making, 3.5.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And, maybe have 19 total minutes the entire year.
I think if you're a starter, you're making more than that. I think if you're riding the bench, you could be getting 3.5.
Oh, no,
League
if you're a
minimum's
starter,
about $3 million.
Yeah, if you're a starter, you're making 35, 40 million.
Right.
Yeah, LeBron's making, I think, $50 million this year, and guys are
What's
signing.
Curry making? 60?
Probably 50 or 60. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
And what did Caitlin Clark make?
I think there's $60 million.
$80,000.
I think there's $60 million guys in the NBA. I think.
Oh
there
yeah,
is.
yeah. The contracts. Jaylen Brown signed a $300 million deal with the Celtics last season. I mean, they are absolutely the way that you can re-sign with a guy and get a supermax contract is unbelievable in basketball.
Yeah, they got these supermax deals. They got the Larry Bird rule. There's if you stay with your team,
you can get more money.
They try to encourage, not a lot of moving around by offering what they call a supermax deal. So, like, if you're a restricted or unrestricted free agent, Team A, the max they could offer you would be like $200 million. Whereas if you stayed with your home team, they could offer you $230 million.
Which what happens is they'll pay you and then they'll trade you.
Right, but or they'll keep you.
So does LeBron give up a little bit of his money for his son, Seth? Is that how he gets his son there this year? Could he get the same Steph Curry money, but he chooses a little less for his boy?
No. He didn't have to take a pay cut at all.
No?
Just because the way basketball is, it's got those draft picks are already slotted to make a certain amount of money, and Bronny's not making much. I think he signed the largest deal ever for a 55th pick in the draft, but I think he's just getting a couple of $1 million.
So anyway, the Pistons are in New York to play the Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah.
And they fly their private plane. They all fly privately. Where the team either charters a Delta or an American, or a lot of teams have their own planes. They have their own planes.
Dan rode those for 7 years.
Yeah, but Dan, the Bucks didn't have their own plane.
They chartered.
They chartered. Right. Yeah. So,
but it was the same crew, the same
pilots,
the same flight attendants.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So, the Detroit Pistons are in town in New York City to play the Brooklyn Nets. Now, one would think that probably the Detroit Pistons are staying somewhere in Manhattan. That's where the higher end hotels are. Brooklyn isn't necessarily the nicest place in the world, but that's where the Barclays Centers is, and that's where the Brooklyn Nets play. That's where they play their home games. So you have a transportation. Part of this. Once you fly into town, you have team buses that take you to the hotel, get you relaxed, and then the next morning or whatever, they'll have a team bus leaves at X amount of a team bus leaves at whenever. If you have like a 7 or 8 o'clock game, team bus would leave like 3 o'clock, something like that. And so the team, they quickly realized that there was a marathon being ran in New York City that had all the streets blocked, and even the Detroit Pistons with a police escort couldn't navigate through the city to get to Brooklyn, so they put the Pistons on the subway.
That's awesome.
And so here the Pistons
guys bag in front of them.
And so here are 30, 40, 50 million dollar dudes. When you're an athlete, I'm not saying you're a piece of meat, but you're basically a piece of property owned by that team. They got this much money invested into you. They coddle you. They make sure you have the best nutrition. They have team doctors. They have therapy. They have nutritionalists. They have
luggage guys. They don't usually roll their own luggage around.
No.
It goes from the plane to the bus to their room.
Exactly.
Come on, dude.
They're not usually sitting next
luggage around.
Yeah, they're not on public transit subways headed to the game. They're in, trailways, private buses, police escorted with maybe, their Beats headphones and a small little duffel bag.
And they're all like 6'10".
Yes. Yeah, and they're all like, the shortest guy on the team 6'4". Like, you know what I'm saying? And they got 7'3" dudes. So they quickly, I guess, logistically had to figure out, oh my God, we're not going to be able to make it to the game unless we take the subway. So here's the Pistons on the subway. Just regular people.
Normally, I bet they have jewelry in those bags. This way. They're gonna duck under the door.
Hey, now, did they go on to win?
Oh man, who knows?
Because
both teams suck.
I hope they did.
Did they have any Michael Jackson Street performers to deal with?
A game-worn Michael Jordan jersey from the Bulls 96-97 sold.
The Pistons won.
Oh, the ones when they played the Pistons?
Yeah, the Pistons won that game.
Went yesterday, auctioned $4.68 million. That's the fourth most expensive NBA jersey of all time, behind Jordan's $10.1 million Last Dance jersey. And a signed Kobe jersey worn at his lone MVP season in 07 and 08 went for $5.8 million. A Wilt Chamberlain jersey during his Lakers run went for $4.9. And I was telling Seth, like, when these guys get done playing a game, I wonder if they get a new jersey every game, or do they like wear a jersey for?
This says it was worn 17 times in a season.
Okay. So they probably get like maybe 4, 5, 6 jerseys. But when one's wearing out, they just probably tell the equipment guy, hey, I need a new one. And they probably, maybe not back in the day, didn't realize what these are worth. But nowadays, I got to think that athletes have a guy that they give it to preserve.
They have a trainer that takes care, an equipment manager.
Well, that's how I got my Reggie White pants.
I was just thinking about that too.
Back in the day when Tony Dungy coached the NFC Pro Bowl team, Reggie White was on the team. And there was a guy named Dan. I don't know if I think the guy was already gone by the time your dad would have known him. Darren Kearns was his name, and he was the head equipment guy.
I know who you're talking about.
And it's when $1 used to be right by the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'd have That's
with
why
little trailers.
That's why the Bucks suck so bad. They had to breathe in jet fuel for 25 years.
And rusted weights.
Yeah, and rusted weights. It was an absolute crap hole.
It was temporary facilities too, like schools used to be. They put a bunch of
temporary for 25 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, Darren Kearns, when you're a coach for the Pro Bowl, you bring your staff. Being elected a coach for the Pro Bowl means you bring your staff. You bring your staff. You bring your equipment guys. You bring your doctor. You bring your trainers. You bring your film guy. Everybody.
Dad went.
Oh, of course, many times.
Yep.
Well, not only did your dad go as a doctor for Tony Dungy, but your dad also went for Warren and various players too.
For sure.
Just to go. So that's how I got my Reggie White pants. Is that those back in 2000, these players really didn't know what game worn stuff was worth. So after the game, they would just literally take their jerseys off and throw it into a pile, that the equipment guys would, launder or, whatever. So, but I don't think, I guarantee you, man, in today's environment, nobody's throwing things into a pile. They're folding them up nicely and keeping them.
They're saving those balls that they get touchdowns from. They have somebody that keeps all that stuff on the side for them.
Now, Megyn Kelly went into a 30-second tirade into...
She was at the Trump rally last night.
She actually endorsed him.
She looks so good.
Do you like her?
She's exactly my age. I think she looks great for my age.
I love her.
I like her too.
I love her. Yeah. And I really like now that she's not beholden to a network.
She's unshackled.
And she's on Sirius XM and she can literally drop an F-bomb, which I find sexy. And she, anyway, now, so this is Kamala Harris's first husband or boyfriend?
No, it's her first husband, the first dude.
Doug Emhoff?
Doug Emhoff. There were what she considered to be very credible allegations of physical altercation between him and a girlfriend before he married Kamala Harris. But you don't even know about it, and we're in the news business. And so when you hear her rant, you'll be blown away because the person who made the allegations, I believe, is a very credible attorney who Megyn says has the quote-unquote receipts for everything. So it's
hold
just
on.
the hypocrisy of...
So what they're saying is that Doug Emhoff
correct,
was Kamala's first husband. And prior to being with Kamala, there is abuse allegations of him abusing his girlfriend.
Correct. In addition to the one...
This has all been swept under the carpet because of her position.
Correct. And that's in addition to him getting his nanny pregnant from the first marriage.
Oh, so he was married to somebody prior to Kamala.
Correct.
And
does it seem just he's not an interesting main character? Or
I don't
is
know,
it just
but it's certainly part of her past.
Could you imagine if they've dubbed J.D. Vance the one who hates, women, childless cat women? Could you imagine if J.D. Vance, who's married to a woman of color, an immigrant, had done this? It's absurd. So let's listen to what she says.
I guess other than the Daily Mail. Certainly Jen Psaki, I hope, wasn't aware of it when she let him get away with, I've always been like this, a supporter of women, except when I'm slapping them in the face or banging the nanny on the ones I'm married to, behind the back of. I'm sorry, this is just, if this were a Republican, it would be leading every news channel. Every news channel.
Well, I mean, if it was, Trump's...
Make it J.D. Vance.
Trump's been married, 2-3 times? If it was, Trump had done this and knocked up his nanny or I don't know.
His wife. It would be the opposite. I mean, it's the spouse of the presidential candidate. So make it Melania.
CBS News went to great lengths to squash correspondent.
Now, this is a different story.
Yeah, Catherine, what is it?
Catherine Herridge.
Reporting about the Hunter Biden laptop just weeks before the 2020 election. The award-winning investigative journalist has claimed in her bombshell allegation, she revealed that she brought evidence to CBS News executive Ingrid Matthews and the CBS Evening News anchor Nora O'Donnell in early 2020, 4 years ago.
Same Nora O'Donnell that hosted the debates.
And that the laptop contained material about $1 million retainer from a Chinese energy firm, along with business texts and emails from the son of the Democratic challenger, Joe Biden. But later that month, what's her last name? Herridge wrote that she was shocked to see 60 Minutes correspondent Leslie Stahl say the laptop couldn't be verified during a tense interview with then President Donald Trump. As I watched the broadcast, I felt sick. Herridge, who was controversially fired by the Tiffany Network in February, wrote Sunday night in her recently launched newsletter. I knew that the laptop records could be vetted and confirmed. She added that she was surprised that 60 Minutes, which came under fire last month for allegedly editing comments made by Vice President Kamala Harris to avoid a word salad answer about the Middle East, had not been working with the news division to confirm her reporting. There was such a disconnect between the two entities. Before Stahl's segment aired, she was contacted by Matthews, who seems to be in charge at CBS, asking if she had confirmed reporting on the Hunter Biden story for O'Donnell's broadcast. Herridge assured the executive that her extensive reporting, including working the phones, reaching out to people on the Hunter Biden people on the Hunter Biden emails for corroboration and cross-referencing court records. So it sounds like, journalistically, she was getting her sources lined up.
She verified everything. She did like she's supposed to.
I told Matthews that the vetted materials included $1 million retainer from a Chinese $1 million retainer from a Chinese energy firm, emails with Hunter's former business partner, Tony Bobolinsky, as well as Hunter Biden text messages. Asked by Matthews if there was a Hunter connection, I responded, yes, all of them, she wrote. Herridge says she then provided some of the vetted records directly to Matthews, but her reporting was never aired. I don't know at this point what happened. The journalist noticed that based on her experience at the network, she found it odd that CBS did not task the investigation until October of 2020 to develop more reporting on the laptop. That would have been standard practice, she said. The Post was the only mainstream publication to report at the time that the laptop belonged to Hunter, leading to the ban of the story by social media giants Facebook and Twitter.
Which is the first time in history that a major newspaper had ever been banned for airing a valid, verified, vetted story. So that's part of the censorship they talk about, Bubba, from 2020.
The Post aired this, or the Post reported this laptop story that had been vetted, cross-referenced, the whole 9 yards. And since the Post put it on Facebook and Twitter, Twitter banned the Post.
And so did Facebook, because that's when the 51 former and current intelligence agents said that it had all the earmarks of Russian disinformation. And so everyone ignored it. And that's what they said on this station in that interview with 60 Minutes, which is why he didn't do 60 Minutes this time, because he was fact-checked incorrectly, just like he was by that dude in his second debate.
David Muir?
Yeah, who fact-checked him with something that was fixed the next day. So why would he have gone on 60 Minutes when this is what's being shown, is that Leslie Stahl was in the bag for him, that the administration of CBS was in the bag for Biden, that they didn't show
Twitter
any
and
of these
Facebook,
things.
Twitter and Facebook in the bag.
Yeah, I think this is one of the things that Mark Zuckerberg actually went on Joe Rogan about a year or two ago and said that he was pressured by the FBI, that they came to him and they said, this has all the earmarks, that stupid letter that everyone quoted, including Biden, in the debate. And that's what they all relied on to call it, quote unquote, disinformation.
It took additional 2 years for CBS to broadcast a forensic review of the Hunter Biden laptop data. By that time, Matthews had been elevated to the role of CBS News president. Herridge said that she continued to advocate for her report on the laptop, which determined that both the data belonged to Hunter Biden and that it had been tampered with.
Had not been tampered with. Right.
Our report was broadcast on November of 2022 after the midterm elections. The Post reached out to CBS for comment. Herridge was ousted earlier this year amid sweeping cuts at the network and parent company Paramount. But let me just see where I think is it Paramount Plus or whatever?
Yeah,
Yellowstone starts up this weekend.
Yellowstone starts what, Sunday night?
Yeah.
And did you see it's going to be 6 episodes and there is no season 6?
Yeah.
So it's over. Like, you got 6 episodes and it's done. It's over. And you can see, like, on some of the highlights that the trailers that they're running, Lummy, where Beth says, if you're gonna we're gonna burn it down.
That's right. They're gonna get rid of Kevin Costner.
So, sources close to the situation claim that the decision to hold her hold on to her files was made by Matthews. The files were returned days later amid pressure from the union representing Heritage earlier this year. So did she get her files and her information back as a reporter? That's what it's saying, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Earlier,
say that again. The part they seized it. Go up again. What's it say?
Sources close to the situation claimed the decision to hold on to her files were made by Matthews, the president of News. The files were returned days later amidst pressure from the union, probably
That's
from
insane.
SAG-AFTRA. Didn't mean she couldn't have made copies of them, right?
No, for sure. And if anyone remembers her, she's the short-haired woman that used to work on Fox, working the Pentagon. So she's really big on having reliable sources. She's an actual journalist. She wasn't actually reporting for Fox at the time. She's on CBS. And we now know that all of the stuff on the laptop was true, so much so that Hunter just pled guilty to all the tax evasion issues. And so when...
Has he been sentenced yet?
No. He's not been sentenced.
He'll
But
be
so when
pardoned
Trump
first.
talked about this was rigged, everyone likes to focus on ballots. That's not what he was talking about. He was talking about everything. And one of the things he was talking about is censorship, which is why Elon Musk bought Twitter, which is now X, which is why Elon Musk is now supporting President Trump, and which is why Joe Rogan said last night that he's supporting him. It's the First Amendment issue. It's that the travesty for comedians and journalists and podcasters and those people that believe in freedom of speech, counter-producing what the government says, and if you toe a line other than what the government says in this day and age, they shut you down during the last administration. That's scary for a lot of us.
Earlier this year, the Post revealed that Matthews was accused of sidelining white journalists and blocking Heritage's report on the Hunter Biden laptop. The exec, Matthews, abruptly stepped down in August and moved to the role of senior advisor for coverage of the 2024 election.
Oh, that doesn't affect anything.
She is set to exit the company after the election.
So the person that withheld,
she's done.
So the person that withheld information from the 2020 election was demoted from the president down to the person in charge of the 2024 election. Brilliant,
right? And now she's exiting the company after the election.
It's America, man. It's if you have an agenda and something comes up that doesn't fit your agenda, then you ignore it.
Dan, did you see this?
This was awesome.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
This is a badass bitch right here.
Yeah.
This woman, she's a power lifter. She's doing a clean and jerk. Like this is I think a clean and jerk with a press or something like that.
Clean snatch.
Oh my goodness.
She's going to win the national championship on this handoff.
Uh-oh.
And when you talk about
so Dan, is her finger dislocated and she puts it back into joint?
Yes.
Experience.
So she has the weight resting on her shoulders, and she snaps her finger back into place like snapping into a Slim Jim.
Yep.
And then she goes on and owns it. Watch.
And did she take off the tape?
No, I think her finger turned on her.
Hell yeah.
Set it straight again. Put her hand back on.
Whoa. Yeah.
Stud, man.
What a stud.
I
got to go to word. So many things to talk about, including some footage that I found that I needed to get Jay's expert opinion on for several different reasons. Nobody's seen this. People have heard this, but nobody's ever seen it. And I found it last night, and I started looking up the time frame of it, and it's just, man. Maybe even Seth can participate in it because he was part of Cox at the time.
For sure he can.
At the time. This is April 2013.
Oh, yeah.
April 2013. I'm still doing mornings. The sex tape had just got released in October of 12. The FBI had already arrested Spice Boy, Keith Davidson, and Lori Burbage. And so this is April of 13, 6 months after the sex tape had finally been leaked by Gawker and all the damage was done. And I was the only suspect. I was the bad guy. Nobody, no, the FBI, Jay, the FBI reports were not public. There were no depositions. This was 3 years before the Gawker trial. So this is fresh. This is fresh after the sex tape got released.
One important thing happened in the middle there. You won your defamation trial.
You're right.
I know you did. January 21st, I believe.
2014.
13.
Yeah, so I'm at 13, right?
This is April 13. So it's
But
after you're on your high from that, and they're still trying to bring you down.
And they're still trying to bring me down. And so we're going to get in. We're going to get in. I'm going to set it all up. We're going to get into it next.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Oh, Bond here.
Oh,
Gene's
yeah.
buddy.
Yes, Gene's getting them out.
Yeah, Gene's
Knowing
getting 'em
that you lied. Straight face. While I cry. Don't forget about the election show tonight at 8. I'll be ready to go on at 7, but I don't make the rules. Because even though Bubba said I don't have to show up tonight because I'm not well versed in the political scene, I am going to show up. Because I am an American. But I will leave early. Because I'm an American that's got to wake up for work the next day. It's tiring being an American. And I need to be properly rested. She's just 16 years old. Leave her alone, they said. Separated by fools who don't know what love is. Lose your verses.
Is everything okay, buddy?
What's up, Tina?
I'm on the radio.
Sethnomics. I'll tell you guys how to buy a baseball card for $20 and sell it for $13. That's my fucking world. What's up, Madden Crusher? And that's what it's been like living in Biden's economy, okay? This is the poorest I've ever been. Is it my fault? No, it's not.
What's up, 1970? How's everybody doing?
Oh, be less first. Okay. I got you. Thank you, John. I agree. What's up, Nick? I got your money laundering.
Thank you, Nick.
I got a way to lose half your money
So,
laundering.
Jay, we're going to do this a couple of different ways. We're going to do it one where we set it up before, we crosstalk it before, play it in its entirety.
I suck at making money, host.
And then talk about it again. And then we're going to do another one where we talk just a little bit, play it, and start and stop it, and give our opinions after, because there's about 3 segments
Whichever way you want to do it.
You just follow my lead.
All right.
All right. So we're gonna give it to them 2 different ways.
Okay.
So
we're gonna give it to them unprotected and protected.
Yeah, raw dog.
Ooh, circumcised
Commando.
and uncircumcised. Okay, sorry, that was too far. No NBA games tonight, man. They canceled it for Super Tuesday.
Well, they know that nobody's going to be watching.
Oh, I would. I need a break from politics. But it looks like I'll have to wait tomorrow for the Magic Pacers. Ooh, Thunder Nuggets.
That was brutal. I fell asleep.
Spurs Rockets.
Did you have to,
Grizzlies Lakers. Ooh. Ooh, Scottie Pippen Jr. against his old team.
I had to rewind it.
What up, Fat Pig?
Yeah.
Cordy, are we talking about Tabone?
Thank you, Big Buck.
I'm taking Trump. Yeah, Benchero. It's probably be out.
Said it all.
Probably be out until December. But they got enough time to hang in the East. The East is just fucking terrible right now. Only 2 teams have a winning record: the Celtics and the Cavs. Thunder undefeated, baby. All right, that's enough. Nobody likes basketball. I'll stop. Separated by fools.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Let me know, no money chime-ins. Let's keep this clean.
All right.
Charles Ramsey, 25 on the PayPal. That'll be the last mention until I get out of this segment. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show, and so I ran across this, and I saved it for when it was posted in public, and I just yesterday found it. And so this is April of 2013. This is 6 months after the October 2012 Gawker leak. And we all know who leaked the Gawker tape. Mike Alta. I mean, we don't have to sit here and argue about that. It's what do you call it, Jay? It's unrefutable. It's
irrefutable.
Irrefutable. And so April 2013, I'm now the bad guy. I'm public enemy number one. I'm the only person that they can tie to this sex tape. Because indeed, I did tape it. It is my wife. It is my house. The depositions and the FBI reports and all of that hadn't started coming out yet. So now here's what people must realize, that as of this time, I'm doing mornings on this same radio station. Mm-hmm. But Hogan obviously doesn't have anything to do with me because I'm the bad guy. I'm the dick. I'm the guy that taped him behind his back. He didn't know about it. I tried to shop it. I tried to sell it. I tried to distribute it. And I'm the one that leaked it to Gawker.
Well, that was the rumor, none of which was true.
Right. None of which was true.
Okay. I don't want anyone to clip that out of context and be like, look, Bubba admitted everything.
No, I didn't. I mean, but in Hogan's mind, he had been fed, all of that. Mm-hmm. So Hogan was so desperate to have that FM platform that he had for 20 plus years with me. I did all of his dirty work, whether it was promoting Brooke, whether it was, talking about Linda and during the divorce, whether it was, talking about defending Nick's wreck during his bad, damn near vehicular manslaughter deal. Hogan was used to having a very powerful FM platform at his disposal.
And at the time, how big was your terrestrial radio reach?
Tampa and 14 or 15 other affiliates. And then and then Sirius XM. No, I wasn't on Sirius XM.
You were off of Sirius, but the terrestrial radio was about as big as your footprint had ever been. And I think in Tampa Bay, weren't you pulling like 800,000 people in a show?
No, I think like I don't know how many people, but we were number one, by double. So anyway, Hogan had me to do all of his dirty work, and he had this platform, this radio platform that he had been. I mean, after you watch this, you're going to see that he felt he was entitled to have it. So he and here's the thing. So he walks into Cox 102.5 The Bone. I'm still doing mornings. I'm still the morning man here, but he can't call my show anymore because he hates me. He thinks that I'm the guy that did it all. And he does an interview with Mike Calta, Cowhead, the person that really is the one that distributed all of this. And how maniacal is Mike Calta to sit here and interview a guy that you just absolutely ruined and torched his life because of what you leaked. Got him thrown out of the WWE Hall of Fame. I just was just absolutely not good for me, him, a lot of people. How can you sit there as the guy that did all this and look at him straight in the eye and interview him? I'm going to play it uninterrupted. And then Jay and I will further break it down afterwards, and then we'll start and stop it. This is from April of 2013 on the Mike Calta afternoon drive. Now, the lineup at that time was me. I did mornings. Drew, I don't know if you were part of Drew's posse yet, Seth.
No.
Drew did middays. Mike Calta did afternoons. Mike Calta is the guy that sent the sex tape to Tony Burton that got it released in October of 12 on the Gawker. That has already happened in Hogan's life. This is April. You can see Eric Bischoff is there as well. This is April of 12. This was posted on 102.5 The Bone TV's website. And almost pounding their chest as if, and here's the thing, Jay, I still was their morning man. That shows you how much they didn't care about me. Here it is. It'll blow your mind. And there's 3 segments here, and it's a minute 13, but one of the segments you're very familiar with because Mike Calta, when you are internally melting down, because you are so internally freaked out that a broadcaster like myself, very rarely do we become so tongue-tied that we melt down and cannot speak. Mm-hmm. We may flip up on some words, mispronounce a few words, become tongue-tied on a few situations, but, for 1 or 2 or 3 seconds.
Not in response to a question.
But when you're facing the guy that you practically ruined his life and you were posturing with your corporation to take my job based on my involvement in this tape, when at that time Cox Corporate had no idea that you actually had done it, I got to think that that's a lot of guilt and ready to short circuit in your little head at any time, that it's almost information overload. Here's what I found.
Everything I've heard, you've had a plan.
Hold on, let me just restate it. So let me just tell you, it comes in these 3 parts. Hogan puts over Calta and actually has a dig on me. He goes, everything I've heard, you've had a plan and you didn't have to do, but something hits the fan and you've stayed true to your game and you're a man's man. And so he's taking a shot at me because, we obviously, Lummy had poop hits the fan and various stunts and gimmicks. That's what we were noted for. He takes a shot at me. Calta melts down. And then Hogan goes on to say it's nice to have a platform in Tampa radio to be able to talk on because all of these years I've had that. Like almost he expects it. Like almost Hogan expects to have this platform, and he freaks out that he no longer has that platform, that he's willing to go do an interview with the guy that actually is behind it all to be able to secure his ability to call in on an FM radio station. I mean, ad nauseum. He used to call in sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And Hogan is so full of himself and so narcissistic that he puts Cowhead over. He always hated Cowhead. Puts him over, has a dig on me, and then thanks him for potentially giving him an opportunity to have a radio platform in his hometown that he's had now for 20 plus years. I'm going to run it without any interruptions.
Everything I've heard, you've had a plan all along, and you haven't had to throw crap against the fan to, do gimmicks and stuff. You've been really consistent, from the line you drew in the sand to be Cowhead,
Right.
and do your show a certain way, so you've been on point. So I said, man, it'd be great to find out, if this guy's straight up and a man's man, like everything I've heard, and sit down and talk with him. And it'd really be great to have, the radio voice in town, would be really consistent to be friends with a guy. So you've never actually crossed the line and did something that was,
No, and that's the thing. I what do you consider? I mean, I might have crossed the line. No, I don't. I consider crossing the line. You and I can have as much beef as we want. We never. All right, I'm good. So we're not fighting. We're good.
No, we're good.
Okay,
I was excited about coming in today because I appeared to be a breath of fresh air to be on the same page and have a good, open relationship with the radio station and everything. And, all of a sudden I've got, all this crazy stuff going on in town on a personal level with businesses. And all of a sudden I don't have this voice on the air, which was weird.
Yeah.
After so many years. So I thought, this is really cool.
Seth, we're trying to... Seth!
He made it. He
We're trying to get it clean.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
A minute and 11 seconds.
I'm sorry.
God damn it.
I didn't know.
All right, I got to play it again. Here it is. Here it is again. I know. I thought you understood that we were going to come back and editorialize on it. Remember, I said we were going to start. So
I know, but I'm sorry. It was funny. I apologize.
It's okay. We'll play it again.
Okay.
We'll play it again. But is it not pathetic on both sides of the fence? I mean, we might as well talk about it right now. What we just heard. We're gonna play it again.
I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to do that.
We're gonna play it. We're gonna play it again uninterrupted. It doesn't matter. It's my show. I can do it 3 times. I don't care. But is it not? Does it not? It also shows Hogan's mentality and the fact that he's desperate to have that platform that I gave. It goes back to what Steve says. Hogan used Bubba.
Mm-hmm. I think his reaction is hilarious because that's the visceral reaction I got when I listened to it was, what?
And Cowhead melts down because he literally cannot process the fact that I am talking to the man who I just ruined his life.
Right.
And
he kind of admits it.
I just ruined his life. And then Hogan doubles down by saying, for all these years I've had an opportunity to be able to Hogan used to use my show to bury everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would bury Linda. He would bury Charlie. He would bury just anybody that just did him dirty. His first call was to me to start burying. All right, I'm going to play it again. I'm going to turn everybody's mics off. And then it gives us a second opportunity to watch and take notes.
Everything I've heard, you've had a plan all along, and you haven't had to throw crap against the fan to, do gimmicks and stuff. You've been really consistent, from the line you drew in the sand to be Cowhead, and do your show a certain way, so you've been on point. So I said, man, it'd be great to find out, if this guy's straight up and a man's man, like everything I've heard, and sit down and talk with him. And it'd really be great to have, the radio voice in town, would be really consistent to be friends with a guy. So you've never actually crossed the line and did something that was,
No, and that's the thing. What do you consider? I mean, I might have crossed. No, I don't. I consider crossing the line. You and I can have as much beef as we want. We never. All right, I'm good. So we're not fighting. We're good.
No, we're good now. I was excited about coming in today because I figured to be a breath of fresh air to be on the same page and have a good, open relationship with the radio station and everything. And, all of a sudden I've got, all this crazy stuff going on in town on a personal level with businesses. And all of a sudden I don't have this voice on the air, which was weird.
Yeah.
After so many years. So I said, man, this would really be cool to get locked in,
So, actually, Seth's outburst, the documentary might very well use. I mean, I'm going to let me
Maybe that's the intro.
That might be the average reaction to the.
He's like, I had so much boring stuff to talk about, brother, and then I realized I don't have anybody's show to go.
Right, I got to take it away from me. Be careful what you get. Be careful what you wish for.
He admits I had it for so many years.
And so, I mean, they listen. Cox and Calta they are probably not real happy that I found this and that I saved this when they broadcasted it on their very coveted Bone TV. And then after they realized through investigations and through depositions and through FBI reports that indeed Mike Calta was the guy that disseminated this to Gawker. He's the guy that took it from Spice Boy. Spice Boy originally shopped it. It wasn't worth much. He couldn't get anything for it. He then gave it to Calta. Calta leaked it to Gawker. The rest is history. Then when I got a job back, I was still the morning man here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Seth, you were in the building here.
Oh, I think I was working at Hot 105. Hot Mornings with Jade.
And it's just apps. I mean, it's so telling. Jay, what's you've watched it all. What's your opinion of this?
I think it's before the FBI raid, correct?
Yeah. No. The FBI raid was in December of 12, but none of that information was made public until after the Gawker trial.
But he was in the next room, wasn't he not?
Who?
Hulk.
Yes, Hulk was in the next room.
So at the time he did this, he theoretically knew about Matt's involvement, Spice Boy's involvement, and anyone.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't know who Mr. X was.
Oh, he didn't.
No, he didn't know who Mr. X was. Remember, the purchaser, the broker of the tape, Keith Davidson, referred to the person who owned the tape and was having him broker it as Mr. X. And David Houston and Hogan wanted to know who Mr. X was, but they were never told. And so Mr. X had to, during various testimonies and stuff, Keith Davidson told Lori Burbage, Mr. X has to be the guy that leaked the tape to Gawker, or this all falls apart. If they know that Mr. X, who was Spice Boy, didn't leak it, because Spice Boy didn't leak it to Gawker. Calta did.
Mm-hmm.
But it blows the whole deal if they don't think Mr. X is the guy that leaked it to Gawker. If they think somebody else leaked it to Gawker, now they know they have two bad guys in the woodpile and there's multiple copies. So in order for their extortion attempt to work, they have to position Mr. X as the guy that leaked it to Gawker, when indeed the guy that's sitting on the other side of the microphone is the guy that leaked it to Gawker. And Hogan rolls in here. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything bad about Hogan, but does this not look desperate?
It does.
On your behalf, you're going into the radio station that employs the morning guy that you believe that the entire world believes caused all this problem for you. And so you go in to another show during afternoon drive. I do mornings, somebody else does middays, and this guy who does afternoon drive, you hated him forever when you were my friend, and you agreed to do an interview with him.
How long did this relationship last?
It lasted until I think depositions, Jay, when were depositions for Gawker? You represented me. When were depositions for Gawker? I don't quite
I'd have to look up the exact date. I think it may have
been 14.
I think so too.
I think so. At this time, Hogan's mindset is, hey, the morning man on your show, you can see right here, he takes a obvious swipe at me right here.
Everything I've heard, you've had a plan all along, and you haven't had to throw crap against the fan to, do gimmicks and stuff. You've been really consistent.
Who's that dogging?
You.
You haven't had to throw crap against the fan and do gimmicks.
Fisher and Boy.
No, me.
From the line you drew in the sand to be cowhead and do your show a certain way, so you've been on point. So I said, man, it'd be great to find out, if this guy's straight up and a man's man, like everything I've heard. And so
he's straight up and a man's man, enough to send the tape that ruined your life and mine to Tony Burton to give to AJ Delirio. So while you're talking to that guy, you have no idea that this is the guy that stabbed you in the back and orchestrated all of the effery.
It'd really be great to have, the radio voice in town,
Yeah, because it's been taken away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Would be really consistent to be friends with a guy. So you've never actually crossed the line and did something that was,
No.
So
that's the question.
So when Hogan makes a statement, hey, listen, buddy. Hey, buddy. You've never done anything to cross the line or do me dirty.
Yep. It's a leading question. You've never done this stuff to me.
No. And so Calta cannot process that. His brain goes into an absolute 13 seconds, a 13-second meltdown. Listen, and he's a professional broadcaster.
And that's the thing. What do you consider? I mean, I might have crossed the line. No, I don't. I could consider crossing the line. You and I could have as much beef as we want. We never. All right.
What?
I mean, like straight short circuit. Be like if you walked in, Seth, and you'd done something, bad.
Yeah.
And Phoebe completely just the minute you walk in says, you know what? I know you did this, and this, and you're like,
I didn't do that. I may have done something, but I don't think I did something. I may have admitted to something, but I'm not sure if I did or not. But pretty much sure I didn't.
And I'm good. So we're not fighting. We're good.
No, we're good. Now, I was excited about coming in today because.
I was excited about coming in today because I can't go on Bubba's show because he's a piece of shiz.
And I got karaoke night at the bar, brothers.
And I got karaoke night at the bar. And I got to talk bad about Linda. And I got to talk bad about Charlie. And I got to promote Brooks' album. And I got to make sure Nick gets a fair trial and doesn't spend 8 months in prison. And when he gets put in solitary confinement, I got to be able to get on the air and bitch about that so that he can get sent into Gin Pop. And then I got to go down to and talk to Nick on the phone and say all kinds of bad things about John Graziano. I mean, I've for 20 years I've had a major FM platform to do all my dirty work, and it looks like I might just cut a deal with you, buddy.
I figured to be a breath of fresh air to be on the same page and have a good, open relationship with the radio station and everything. And, all of a sudden I've got, all this crazy stuff going on in town on a personal level with businesses. And all of a sudden I don't have this voice on the air, which was weird.
Yeah.
After so many years, so I said, "Man, this would really be cool to get locked in."
Yeah.
Everything.
It'd be real cool to get it'd be really cool to get locked in and have that big, huge that FM I can bury anybody at any time hammer.
I've always had a respectful relationship with Terry Bollea. You know that. And the antics of Hulk Hogan versus Terry Bollea are often two different things. And when your deposition was taken, I took the opportunity to have a man-to-man discussion with him about
in the parking lot,
which he thanked me for because it was essentially you going in and being willing to tell the truth and fall on the sword and come up with what you thought to be true.
You manned up. Did I fall on the sword?
And you manned up and you said, here's what I think happened. And you actually said, I'm going to put the pieces together. Here's how the dots went. And you came up with the exact thing that happened. And so he seemed very desperate on that tape because he had lost what he admitted. I had always had this. It was kind of weird not to be able to go on your show and promote, whether it's WWE or NWA or his daughter on a reality show or him on a reality show or his divorce or any of the things that revolved around his personal or professional life, he always had the liberty of calling up his buddy, Bubba Clem, and saying, "Hey, Bubba, can I come on tomorrow?" And what was the answer always?
Oh, well, hold on. He didn't even call me up and say, can I come in tomorrow? He just called in.
Called the hotline.
All the time.
Remember, at one point, it was like 2 or 3 days a week.
We have positioning statements. Do we have them around? We have positioning statements. Oh, my God.
And I like Terry Bollea. I always have. I just feel like this was a guy who was manipulated. If you look at that video and you really tear it down to its bare basics, he was desperate to get back on the radio. If he didn't know, he didn't know. If he knew what Cowhead had done to him,
no, he didn't know.
Could you imagine what he would have done? He would not have been able to contain himself. So in some regards, when I watch that video, I feel a little sad for him because he's sitting there sucking up to a guy that he has no idea buried him.
And here's the other thing. Neither did Cox. Cox didn't know either. I mean, Seth worked there, and nobody suspected Calto. I mean, that's why he, got me. That's why he replaced me, because they didn't want the guy that did his friend dirty and brokered a sex tape as their morning man. They did not want that. And so he, using the tape leaked to Gawker, he was able to get my job, has had it ever since, and his plan worked, and he's never been held accountable. I got it. Never. He called so much that we had positioning statements for when he would call.
Hey, bro, pick up the phone. Don't you know who it is? It's me, your best friend, Hulk Hogan. Don't keep me waiting, dude.
So he had to pre-record all that.
Sure, Bubba has friends, but only one can claim the title of bestest friend.
Good God.
The world's greatest wrestler, Hulk Hogan, is on the warm line.
I mean, hold on.
Has anyone been keeping track of how many times Hootie is called today?
Oh, hey, whatever.
Anyway, Hulk Hogan is on the line.
Hey, bro, pick up the phone. Don't you know who it is? It's me, your best friend, Hulk Hogan. Don't keep me waiting, dude.
So, I mean, he called so many times that we had his own positioning statement.
You know, it's funny, people are still going to try to judge you for the whole act.
Yeah.
This is 2024, everybody. Open your mind. There's a lot of people that have different types of relationships, and this is like a nothing burger for certain people. I just can't even believe that people would be judgy on the fact that it happened. That what's important is not that it happened, the fact of it being stolen and intentionally disseminated to hurt people. That's the story. The story is not about whether.
And that person.
It just irritates me.
And that person that stole it, disseminated it, is to this very second, still have my job.
And still, people would still blame you somehow.
Oh, I'm to blame. I am to blame. I have to bear some of the blame. It's just that I still can't wrap my head around the fact.
Look, here's the thing.
That the person that distributed it and made it public. Hey, listen, had it not been stolen and this person and Mike Calta distributed it to Gawker, it would probably still be in my drawer. No, I would have destroyed it by now, trust me. But I'm just saying, 3 people in the world would have known about it. Me, Heather, and Hogan.
I mean, that would have been a good way to launch the OnlyFans.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
I watch and it's like a little pathetic.
It's pathetic. It's
because I know that now that he knows if he asks those questions, he knows a man's man. It's like how irritated would he be?
A man's a man. Why is everybody looking for a man's man? How about just a man?
I mean, had he? So you're like, it just blows my mind.
I'm going Buck.
How could Cowhead sit there and do this to this guy?
It's beyond comprehension to me.
Because everybody's using everybody,
like
man.
Some of those texts that I sent you is like, this guy is like the most powerful man in Tampa, out less Santos Trafficante in the modern day era. This motherfucker can hit women, can broker sex tapes, can take jobs from people,
bully.
You lived in that world over there. Well, he bullies people.
Oh, yeah.
Gets his whatever the fuck he wants, he gets.
Oh yeah, big time.
He didn't have any of those tattoos in that video. That's literally like means he's gotten all those tattoos since 2013.
Because he's cool, man. He's in a band.
Yeah, when I say adults get all tatted up, it makes me giggle.
And Hogan looks just absolutely fucking pathetic.
What's up, Primetime Toys? Good morning, everybody.
I don't know what chat's saying. Hey, chat, I'm just now getting to you. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I just found that, and I think they're going to put it in the doc. So they needed me and Jay to do a wraparound for it, and rather than us just to do it, I figured we might as well do it live. Fuck it.
Yeah.
It'd be good content. Gives you guys a little insight as to what you might see.
Dr. Dan's Bloomin' Onion, Zeke, Tim, Anglin, GeoBug, 0985, good morning. What up, Xerxes?
If you're Calta man and you know that this shit's coming.
One person I know of in town that took his deposition and will do it again. Jay Costico, what's up, buddy?
I don't know anybody that's ever taken his deposition.
Just me.
You took Calta's deposition?
I sure did.
Well, for what?
In the MJ case.
Oh.
Remember there was that one, the one little supposed rumor. I don't want to talk about it right now and how I could whisper it to you, but I took his depo on that, and he was remarkably honest with me.
I'm going under the French fry lights tonight. What's up, LM Close?
So Mark's a Mark.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm gonna go see LM Close and get fitted for the holidays.
No doubt. LM Clothes, I look okay, buddy? Try to put my...
Oh, he looks good as fuck.
My uniform on.
I need a whole makeover, man. It's time.
I got a guy over at Hugo Boss that'll hook you up, and I'll let you know one of my secrets. They have 40% off sales 2 times a year, and that's when I buy my clothes.
Oh, I bet.
For real?
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
And it's all the stuff fresh off of their, like, it's the fresh stuff. Just, why would I pay retail just to waste money?
I only like to pay full price for my Italian leather.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
Chat says, Mr. Daco, you look like $1 million, bro.
Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it. It would be $1 million if I didn't get 40% off.
Well, yeah, especially we've increased his hotness by being ugly. You know? Sorry. I've said too much.
God, shut the fuck up. They may love that outburst. They might like it. We gave it to them 2 different ways, one with, one without. Yeah. So they might.
I thought the outburst was actually funny and natural. For a guy that had never seen it before.
Yeah, because you don't ever put anything over. So when you outburst,
it was just organic. It was real.
What up, Bloomin' Onion Maker?
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Lummy, we are so far behind.
Yes, sir.
You know what I feel like doing?
What's that?
Just so that they know that it's coming. I feel like just playing it again. And then going back into commercials because I'm so late.
There you go.
It's coming, fellas. It's coming. It may not do anything for me. I may look stupid as hell. But some people are going to be, I don't know. I mean, I think there's going to be some heat. Jay, I mean, you've participated in it. I mean, do you think that there's going to be some uncomfortable conversations that people have to talk about when the doc comes out?
Yeah. I think that it will show how the government can manipulate things by picking and choosing who's a good victim and who's not a good victim, and what's a good case and what's not a good case, and subjectively within their discretion whether to take it or not, and then to use something that they learned years before to try to get the president of the United. It's just the whole thing is mind-boggling when you really peel the layers off of it.
Everything I've heard, you've had a plan all along, and you haven't had to throw crap against the fan to, do gimmicks and stuff. You've been really consistent, from the line you drew in the sand to be cowhead and do your show a certain way, so you've been on point. So I said, man, it'd be great.
Be great to get on this guy's show. Be able to call in 2-3 times a day and talk about Charlie, who's dating Linda and driving my Harley and working out at my house. And can you believe Charlie put a restraining order against me last night?
To find out, if this guy's straight up and a man's man, like everything I've heard.
Oh, he's straight up and he's a man's man, all right.
And sit down and talk with him. And it'd really be great to have, the radio voice in town, would be really consistent. To be
God forbid my radio voice in town be taken away.
Friends with, I guess. You've never.
Little do you know, bud, the guy you're talking to is the guy that sent it to Gawker, which caused you all kinds of issues, including getting thrown out of the WWE Hall of Fame because Calta had 2 tapes. After he sent the first one, within a day or two, him and his agent were already, Jay, you saw it, we're already brokering. They're saying, oh no, I heard there's a second tape that has racial slurs on it. We'll hold that one and wait to drop that one until July of 15.
Never actually crossed the line and did something that was,
No, and that's the thing. I what do you consider? I mean, I might have crossed the line. No, I don't. I consider crossing the line. You and I can have as much beef as we want. We never. All right, I'm good. So we're not fighting.
No, we're good now.
That's absolute gibberish what he said there. I'd like a transcript of that.
And then he says, yeah, we are good. We're not fighting. Cowhead. You think you could and even Hogan, as old as he would whip you. Do you really think you're that tough? Like, Seth, did he roll around Cox thinking that he was like mafia tough?
Yes.
Nuh-uh.
For real?
Yes.
Really? Yes.
Yes.
He thinks
anyone who talks like that,
he thinks he's so tough. Oh, so we're not fighting. Bitch, you better. Hogan would kill you.
As much beef as we want. We
if
never.
He's going to fight you for a day
all right,
long.
I'm good. So we're not fighting. We're good.
All right, I'm good. So we're not fighting. What do you? Are you that full of yourself? And by the way, Jay, you're right. After he got my job and started making some decent money, that's when he become tattoo guy.
Right.
At the age of 45, I'm going to start putting tattoos on my body so I can look even cooler.
All right, I'm good. So we're not fighting. We're good.
No, we're good now. I was excited about coming in today because I figured to be a breath of fresh air to be on the same page and have a good, open relationship with the radio station and everything. And, all of a sudden I've got, all this crazy stuff going on in town on a personal level with businesses. And all of a sudden I don't have this voice on the air, which was weird.
Yeah.
After so many years. So I said, man, this would really be cool to.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm entitled. I'm supposed to have unabated access to the FM airwaves.
Just if somebody told this old head in 13 that Twitter had already been around for 4 years, he could have started getting his opinion off that way.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Yeah, meet Clement Kush.
No, this special show tonight.
Oh, that's right. Clement Cush in the special show. Clement Cush is going to be short today. Do you want to not even go to the... Do you want me not to even go to my chair? You just want me to knock it the fuck out?
No, I'm fine with whatever you do. I usually prep for that pigmentation when you do that. So.
Oh, okay. So 30 minutes. Yeah, Jay, I mean, fucking Calter rolls around. I mean, Seth will tell you. He rolls around like I am unfucking touchable. I can hit women. I can take Bubba's job. I can fucking have Hulk Hogan in my studio after I fucking brokered the tape and he knows no better. Ha! And then my company will settle with Hogan for millions and millions of dollars the day before my deposition so that I don't get deposed. And I still keep my job. Like I got fired over a $755,000 indecency fine. How do you fucking survive this much litigation? I mean, you know, Jay, the first thing to bring you down is litigation.
The cost of it.
Yeah, but...
Exactly.
We got an election to win tonight.
Like, how does that happen, Jay?
Brian voted on his father-in-law's ballot.
I bet he did. That was probably the vote he really wanted. He didn't vote Trump probably.
Man, my shit really takes a tumble over here.
You over there just fucking dropping shit?
I got a lot of stuff, man. I got 4 shows today. I need a lot of stuff.
I need a transcript of that. That is the most bizarre rant ever. It's literally like, no, and that's the, what do you think? I never, I may have crossed you. You know I don't. I haven't as much beef as we can. I mean, it's fucking gibberish.
Let me see here.
It's unbelievable. I'll have that transcribed, believe that. At 35 seconds. It makes absolutely no sense.
It's 13 seconds.
It starts at 35.
I'm trying, Ryan.
Great to have, the radio voice in town, would be really consistent to be friends with her. Yes, you've never actually crossed the line and did something that was,
No.
No.
No, and that's the thing.
And that's the thing.
Primetime Toys 25.
What do you consider? I mean, I haven't.
What do you consider? You mean I have?
I might have crossed the line. No, I don't.
I might have crossed the line. No, I didn't.
I consider crossing the line.
I consider crossing the line.
You and I can have as much beef as we want.
You and I can have as much beef as we want.
I know. We never.
I know. We never.
All right, I'm good. So we're not fighting. We're good.
Because what he's saying is he crossed the line with you. You and I aren't fighting, but he and Bubba are fighting. He's trying to literally splice words. In my opinion, he's literally trying to splice words to try to come up with a way. Well, I'm not screwing you. You and I've never had any beef.
But his poor little brain's thinking you have fucked this guy over so bad.
It's
and you're gonna short circuit your shit.
It's word salad for sure.
I mean, it makes Kamala Harris look like an auctioneer. It makes Kamala Harris look like a spoken word genius.
What's up, group of lips? I'm gonna call you the Phillies, Nizuki Slay, or HS Bubba fan. How's everybody doing? That kind of stuff blows my mind away. I'm a common sense dude. That just
It blows my mind away.
Blows common sense.
It blows my mind away, Jay, that they have stuck with him through that, through the settlement, which I heard was $55 million.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Clement Kush recorded today. Operation Pigmentation recorded today. Tonight, back with Dan and Babyface at 7. Well, start time at 8 o'clock. Probably I'll start rolling in here about 7:50 for an election show. Hey, man, today is the day.
If you haven't done it, whoever your candidate is, go out and vote, because if you don't, you can't bitch. Go vote.
Go vote. We're not telling you who.
Nope.
Just go vote. Jay, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I just got texted from the people, and they said, perfect. Let me get all of that.
Okay.
All of it to them.
No problem.
Or to me, or whatever.
Yep.
Jay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to Costa, so I'll see you in
Couple
a week.
weeks.
Yep.
Rough life. Headed to Costa.
Bubba, I've been one time in a year, honestly.
I know. You got to get out there to Costa.
I got to go.
I'll see you again live tonight. Everybody except for Jay will be here. We'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate you.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian Lummit.
It's Seth, co-host and president of podcasting.
It's Brian Matroni, king of counter programming.
Rhett, the filthy ginger video editor.
Yeah, back here wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
Co-host, Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council.
Co-host, J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repeat hello.